Says we are.
We're live.
Using...
We're here. Everybody's been waiting. I've been telling people to keep their shirt on, Lieutenant, and
Well, they can all take their shirts off because they're not live in front of the audience. We can't.
I like your layout. That's nice. I like it.
That's yours, just a little bit tweaked.
I know, it's like,
yeah,
sweet.
And
check out my shirt, guys. Perfect shirt to wear for this episode. Live long and prosper. My ass.
Oh dear.
Right. So, hey guys, let's see. We've got quite a few people in here, and thank you very much for coming early.
We're back. You missed us. It's been a whole year since we talked. It's the least accurate thing I've said all day. It's been minutes, but many.
It's been a year on some planet, I'm sure, because there's
whole year
some planets have really quick years.
The least accurate thing I've said all day.
Permission to come aboard granted. Thank you about the shirt. So 12 people watching is the number I have.
Oh, I have 117.
Well, see, perfect. I don't know why this is saying 12.
So let us know how you think the quality of the stream is, because we're doing it on my machine this time, which is a little bit different to Stuart's. I think it's running at 1080p. Let us know if it's lagging at all, sound at all, all that jazz. Let us know.
Yes.
So
but we're going to start off.
Well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, Stuart, you start. Although, first, guys, super chats, if you'd like to support the channel, please do. We have to read out what you say, and they help the channel to do the things we do all the damn time. So please help if you can. And this is about the JJ Kelvin universe. Or is it still JJ if he's not really involved anymore?
Yeah. He was the one that created it. So, okay. So the main point of the article is that the fourth movie has been officially shelved. It says canceled, it says dead in a lot of articles, but shelved is the actual. So I'm going to start off by saying that could still be developed at some point. However, the director is now working on another project. Chris Pine's not on board, and they are up for the Bad Robot only has the contract to make Trek films until like June, I believe. So, and they need to make one every 2 years or something to keep the contract.
3
or 4. I think I read 4 actually somewhere earlier today. Anyway, they need to make a movie on a regular basis to keep the contract, and if they want to do that, they need to scramble really fast. And so basically, it's dead.
Now it is worth noting that the whole shelved thing,
thank you, Joseph. One Australian dollar.
Thank you. If you recall, there was the George Lucas created TV series he was doing that he wrote like 2 seasons for, that in pre-production for years. It got shelved. But that really just means cancelled. I mean, if they said cancelled, like, as the headline, it'd be even more. But the thing is, I mean, they could easily do a new contract. They could easily do another movie. They could, there's so many things you could do. So shelved is more, well, can you imagine? I mean, the Paramount stock probably took a little bit of a dip, saying one of your major franchises you're giving up on. So saying shelved rather than cancelled is a little bit, that fine line of, well, it might save a little bit of face. So I'm going to share this while you vamp.
Yeah, exactly. So I know we've got a lot of slack in the comments today talking about it's not dead, it's only shelved, or it's not canceled. It's just, anyway. So that's what we're here to talk about. We're going to talk about the possibilities of what could happen, which is not very likely. What has happened in regards to Chris Pine and the director, and also I think we're going to talk a little bit about what we would have liked to see for a fourth Star Trek movie. Personally, you guys know I'm not a huge fan of the JJVerse, the Kelvin timeline, but I personally wanted to see a fourth movie, especially if it did involve Chris Hemsworth. I thought it'd be awesome. Lots of possibilities with that kind of storytelling with Kirk's father back. And I wanted to see the new Enterprise in action. I actually really liked that ship at the end of Beyond. And the funny thing is, with Beyond, I actually enjoyed Beyond. A lot of people hated it. I thought overall it felt very Trek. The ending, there was a few things at the ending which are kind of stupid, like the bike and the music and stuff. But I can look past that. It had more of a Trek feel than Into Darkness did for sure. And the thing that happened essentially was they thought that Beyond would make a lot of money. So in the contracts, they said you'll be getting this much money for the next movie, blah, blah, blah. Then, of course, Beyond underperformed because of many reasons, but a big, summer blockbuster year. And also the fact that a lot of Star Trek fans were boycotting this movie at the time because of the CBS Axanar thing and a few other reasons as well. This was before Discovery was out. So a lot of people were boycotting the movie. And guess what, guys? The boycotting of the movie, if that was an actual thing, was one of the contributing factors to this film not being made, this fourth one. So way to go. Let's shoot ourselves in the foot and not get Trek. Personally, like I said, I would have liked to see another JJ film. That being said, the way that Beyond ended was kind of a fitting end to a trilogy. If we're going to go with a trilogy, kind of a new beginning, and it could go anywhere from here. Like in years down the road, they could continue it somehow. Maybe, who knows? I think it was a good place to end. It's not like a cliffhanger. It's more like a on the brink of a new adventure kind of thing. And the fact that we don't have Chekhov anymore, Anton Yelchin. You don't have to worry about writing out his character or anything because the whole trilogy had the ensemble cast. So in a way, it's a good thing there won't be a fourth film. But like I said, I would have liked to have seen one, and I think we could have had some really fun ideas that could have been made into a film for the fourth one. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, even Trek 3 had a troubled production history, and Trek 2, as in Into Darkness, was rushed and put into production and all that stuff, and they lost their main villain. They lied about who it was to save face. They should have just, and also 9 itself, stupidly poorly written. It's a real shame. But then I prefer Into Darkness to 9 because at least it did interesting things with old material. 9 just stupid beyond belief. But Beyond, it ended on the highest note. It was the best in every way, pretty much. The director of Fast and Furious got to make a Trek film, and guess what, Stuart? As a fan of Trek, he actually made a Trek film. Good for him, written by a Trek fan. It was the best film easily, and yes, you're right. The end was a fitting note off to the future, but
yeah. Chris Jackson throws in $2. How can I be a Trekyards admin or be more involved? Shoot us an email at trekyards@hotmail.com
Yes.
or message me on Facebook is probably the best way if you're on Facebook. And I'll get you involved with the admin team if you like. Even make you a moderator on one of these. Just got to get to know you a little bit, John Arkeki puts in $2. Boycott is sexist. Person caught. How about no? Because it's boycott. That's what the way the word is, and I'm not going to fall into this sexist bullshit trap of changing words and phrases because it's stupid.
It was a phrase first. Fine, guys, gals, who cares? It's like the word guys. Guys is neither gender, but it says guy in it. It's like, hey guys.
Yeah.
It's everybody, every age, every gender. Anyway.
So now Trekyards is going to be labeled as sexist from this moment on because of the stream. Dun, dun,
but
dun.
only by silly people. So there you
Only
go. And we have 303 viewers. Amazing. But yeah.
Wow. 303 viewers.
Now, think about Friends, right? Friends, by the last season, they were getting, every major cast member was getting 1 million an episode, even though Phoebe might only have 6 lines in one episode. So that is a huge factor. And if you look at big budget films, a lot of that is just securing the lead, because that lead, if they charge $1 million to be in a movie, right? Well, if just them being in it will drill up at least 20 million in box office, which any movie with a big name, if Will Smith is in a film, it will drum up an extra 100 million, probably likely just because it's him.
Yeah.
He obviously endorses it by his presence, even though they can do rubbish things. So the actors then, that's the biggest thing. The first film came out, mixed bag of who's and who's nots. Second film, they all obviously wanted a sequel. Everyone's more famous just because of Star Trek, but obviously they have their own career. And Star Trek 3 has its thing. Like, at that point, you can't recast Kirk 4 films in. You're locked into these people without it being very blatant. Either they didn't want to come back, which is bad press, or you can't pay enough, which is bad press. All these things. And so, yes, after the Marvel and DC, the two potential big players who would each have brought in a huge demographic of people. Although you know, Pine no longer be the young demographic because he's aged through his young phase during the course of these movies. That's fine. You know, they're going to bring in certain people. The problem is if they've burned so much good publicity, so much goodwill with the films themselves, then the chance of them recouping. And I'm sure that with the goodwill that Beyond raised, more people would see 4. I bet you. But if the actors are all charging minimum 10% more, minimum, and this is about knowing pre-existing contracts, then have to raise more just to break even. And at that point, well, Paramount's thinking and the actors are thinking, well, why don't I just work on this other film that I've been offered for more money, for more time, that'll make more money. And the point of them is to make money. That's the problem. These are still commercial entities, and if you don't make money, you can't make more. That's why successful things like Big Bang Theory ends up being stupidly popular, stupidly successful, and it gets 12 seasons, whereas shows that are super high quality but not necessarily viewed by people, and people equals the money to make more, you lose them. And unfortunately the milk was soured by Into Darkness, especially because people could forgive 09 for saying yeah it was the first one, we'll try the next one, but fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, that's a shame.
Yeah.
But the third one was really good. I want to get the 4K Blu-ray. I want to enjoy it in the Franklin and those CG sequences.
But speaking of
what 4K Blu-rays?
Salary.
Oh, okay.
We're
getting supported by amazing fans. Oh my God, you guys are so amazing. We've had
first of all, Joseph, who put in $2, he couldn't really comment, but he just wanted to let us know that he's going to be working on a new theme for Trekyards, as I talked about with him quite a while ago, and he's going to start it so that we can have maybe our own music theme. So there you go. I wanted to let everybody know that.
Okay,
but
thank you.
RSWW puts in $5.
Thank you.
With Star Trek being canceled, maybe brought back without Chekhov, replaced by Lieutenant Eric's animated series.
Yeah.
Do you think that could happen? That would be awesome. I think that would be a definite possibility. And he wants animation number 18, Samuel. Do you have them? Do you have them all listed?
Well, not listed.
Okay.
But I have to find them all and I have to work out how to play them because they're not in a. Because they're not.
See.
They're not. Because we're very big on my screen right now. I can probably modify that, but
I got them all ready to.
I know you do.
He'll play that for you in a second.
I know you do.
But yes, Lieutenant Eric's would be an awesome choice to add to a new movie, and they have the budget and the technology now that they could do that. That'd be actually very neat. I would like to see that. Michael Parker puts in $5. Hey guys, any word yet on the Deep Space Nine HD box set? Where is my Garrick expose?
Well, no. The word is no.
Yeah, they haven't even started that.
They won't. Will. Yeah, they won't even start that.
Well, they will. It'll get done. They said that they would never do TOS way back in the day because it'd be too expensive per
episode. I just mean that this current crop of people in charge, this current crop of, not in its current state. It's just not worth it for the money. Because I especially should know how difficult and how much that'll take to do, and it's definitely not a priority even with anniversaries. But the thing is, they could probably do like a season 1 and 2 box set to prove it can be done. But that's before the CGI came in, and if the documentary is really successful, they might be able to push for that. That's very doable actually. The effects didn't come in until later, which would be great. But then honestly, they could probably kickstart enough to at least, because imagine if a season by season, we need to raise $2 million to do DS9 season 2 with a lot of fans doing CGI. Like I'd happily do CGI for DS9 season 3 remastered. It's not like I haven't got the ability, the computers, the skills, the software. If you want to accurate remaster, Stuart.
Right.
Right. Which one's number 8 then? Number 18, you say?
18.
Terrible. Oh.
Yeah. Tony Talarico puts in $5 as well. Hey guys, how can I get more involved in Trekyards? I love your show. Well,
thanks, man.
As we said earlier, if you want to email us at trekyards@hotmail.com, or if you're on Facebook, shoot me a private message. We can get you involved with either the Trekyards admin team over on the Trekyards page on Facebook, or add you as moderator here as well, or both. But a little bit of a trial period over on the admin thing because we have admins in different roles and
they're amazing.
New one, yeah. Our admin team is absolutely fantastic.
Okay, I got the animation. Let's see if it plays. See how real time it plays.
It'd probably be better than mine because of
Yeah, I have a
But
couple of.
while you're doing that, John Hathcock puts in $10. Thank you very much, John. That's one of
Thanks,
our
John.
Trekyards admins, by the way. He's John Hathcock.
Yeah, it's in real time mostly. Woo!
But it's so little. No, it's fine.
I can make it full
so he
screen
puts in
if that would help.
$10.
Well,
No, well, you can.
no, then people can nick it. That's part of the point of not doing it. Wow,
Um,
356 viewers. That's amazing. Thank you, guys.
And John says, I'd love TNG remastered. TNG is remastered.
And it's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
The skin costume, the skin quality.
The skin costume,
No, the
skin quality.
and costume quality. And the fact that Michael Westmore's makeup still looks exemplary in a resolution that was never designed to be watched in, that is impressive.
Yes. Although the background pieces, even in TNG, kind of fail when they're high definition. You can see the paintbrush strokes, and you can see some wood edging on some things. It's,
well, yeah.
And then people give TOS a hard time. I mean, you can still see it in TNG, so let's give it a break, guys.
Yeah, but background stuff will always be slightly less polished anyway than foreground. Although Dale Stafford says, didn't they already remaster most of the CGI shots in Next Generation? Yes, they recomposited all the shots in Next Generation except 3 they had to digitally redo, and they used the wonderful Tobias Richter's custom into SD model, which they tweaked a bit and added like 3 shots. And a couple of, like, because TNG is a cheekier reuse than you think.
Yeah.
So they
and
yeah.
Douglas Clements is here. He's another one of our Trekyards admins and moderators. Says, hello, guys. I don't have long to talk, but I'll help watch the chat. Well, thank you very much, Doug. Much appreciated. You keep everyone in line. It's your job.
Well, all 7 seasons of TNG remastered. Yes, quite a while ago.
Yeah.
It was great.
And the fact is, it didn't sell like they anticipated. So that's one of the reasons, again, that they don't want to do DS9 or Voyager the same thing, because they just didn't make the money back from it that they expected for what it cost. But that being said, like I said when I was younger, I'm like, TOS would be so great if they could remaster or redo all the effects shots with modern effects. Oh, that'll never happen. It'd be over $1 million an episode, and that's too expensive, and blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, they just went and did it. So it's going to eventually happen at some point in some fashion. So
yeah, but they got to remaster TOS because the effects don't look very good, really. They've poorly aged for sure. But that's okay.
Well, we got 1,000 rubles.
Which is £11. Cool. Thanks, man. $15. It's brilliant.
I can't read the name, unfortunately. I apologize. It's in
Mr. Awesome.
Beyond is the best out of the 3 Kelvinverse movies. I would agree with you. I hope Star Trek art lore continuity will be fixed after the CBS Viacom merge. Yeah, we also hope that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I really did enjoy Beyond, especially the beginning of it. Felt very much like back to real TOS.
It was clever. It was clever and funny and a simple payoff, and that's all we need. And it linked to the plot. And it wasn't a wasted scene, actually.
Yeah.
It was clever.
The JJ prize get destroyed, so I was in heaven. It was an awesome movie. And then it ended with such a great new ship, which is on screen there. I actually really like the A.
Needs a couple of tweaks, but
yes.
Apart from that, we shifted. Is that going to go away?
Yeah, it'll go away. It does it to me all the time. Okay. There you go. Should be fixed now. Yes. Doesn't do that.
Well, that's because I'm just at the level of having both. That's cool though.
That's scary, man.
It's scary.
Madison Knight puts in £2, still laughing at the Romulan terror bird.
Oh, that's a good one.
Why?
Yeah.
We did a full episode on that. It was designed by a friend of mine. And it's a good episode. We actually put a lot of history and thought into that ship. And
it was our first one, put a lot of history and thought into as a new thing.
Yeah.
It was good. Now, someone mentioned about the merger thing. Now, it always intrigues when people say, what was the exact quote? Because I want to quote verbatim. Will be fixed, but merging the continuities. Well, there isn't a discontinuity between the Kelvinverse and the...
No.
And if you were to merge them, then you would break both universes because they're separate. So you'd have to...
The only issue is...
Yes.
Because Paramount owns the rights to the movies.
Yes.
And CBS owns the right to television. That's why you've never seen a Sovereign class in like any Deep Space Nine battles. likely won't be in the Picard series until there is this merger. Then maybe they could pull a Sovereign class back in. So there is that issue, and that's a
Yeah.
little bit sticky. I think that's what they
Now,
might be referring to by fixing things.
see, that's real interesting though, because you mentioned that. That's a really, really good point. Although they did actually have they did build a Sovereign model at Foundation Imaging to use on the books and stuff, and it's the the book model. It was based on the First Contact mesh. What's interesting is that you obviously mentioned, okay, they can't use movie ships, but the entire Wolf 359 fleet was in DS9 except Norway. So they did get the rights to use all the ships in First Contact. The Sphere was introduced in First Contact. So there's a plethora of ships that came from the movies, which they licensed. Sovereign, okay, yes, is a hero ship, but I don't think it's unreasonable to say they could get that. Yeah, but it's such a petty thing to say, oh, we designed, we used John Eve to design our ship, and so did the TV show, but because Paramount owns one, it's like, well, you can't use our ship that we designed, even though it fits into your continuity, and therefore you should be able to use it. Such a strange thing. Although, does that mean that Foundation Imaging and Voyager could have designed a Sovereign class refit? Because fuck them. And it'd be like 25% different. For legal reasons. And it's just, almost a Sovereign, and they own that Sovereign class, and then the officials... But because if CBS, for example, did a Sovereign refit, right?
Mm-hmm.
In show, somehow they got away with the Sovereign refit in, say, Voyager Season 7, then Nemesis happened, would the Paramount movies have to respect the TV show canon? Would the Paramount have to buy the rights to the CBS design, or would they refit it, or would they ignore it completely?
It's a very good question.
Because that doesn't feel like that they would care. It would just sort of use it. That's what I mean. That's such a weird thing to license around. It's like the Franklin. It means that can never appear in any whatever and.
Yeah.
But the shuttle pod appeared in Franklin, in a Beyond, or the altered shuttle pod, was mostly the same shuttle pod. Well, I do see a CG question. I know the Akira was in DS9, but I don't remember seeing Norway, Steamrunner, or Saber classes. Yes, Saber classes were a lot. Steamrunner as well, but Norway they refused to use. The CGI effects house president of Foundation said, "I hate that ship. We're not using it. Don't give it to us. We refuse it." That's why that model's now lost, because they refused to take it. If they just taken it and kit bashed it, we've had another model in the archive. But nope. Not that it was a good model or anything, but...
And the other ships were there. We mentioned this in yesterday's stream, at least Samuel did, that they were more background ships. They weren't foreground because they were low detail.
Yeah.
That's when the Akira was the most detailed out of all of those. That's why it was used the most.
Yeah, there's plenty of shots where you see them just, making up the fleet. Making, yeah.
The movies and TV shows need to be under one company. It's too messy all over the place. I totally agree with that. And actually, this falls back to Discovery, because one of the legal reasons that the Enterprise had to be 25% different was legal reasons, apparently. But then it was said that it wasn't legal reasons, it was creative reasons. But I have the feeling somebody somewhere dropped the ball or screwed up, or something happened with the legalities. It makes more sense that they changed it because it was a legal reason than creative. Because if it's creative, that's just stupid and makes them look bad. Yeah. And it was stated it was legal, and then it was withdrawn, and then it was said creative, push forward, and now there's this big debacle online whether it was legal or not, and blah 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 blah. So, who knows what's going on over CBS with the legalities of Trek? I don't know. I don't think they know. So,
yeah, I just want to. I'll respond to that in a second, but the VT Trim says no video on the Norway then. So you've noticed why we haven't done a Norway episode yet. That's literally why.
Yeah, that's why we don't have the
only reason.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, exactly. Whatever you were just talking about, I agree with. Oh yeah, the 25% different. See, it's fascinating because we knew that beforehand.
Before it came out, yeah.
I hate people slandering John for saying, no, he's lying. Like, yet no one that knows John Eves might say that. These news articles that don't know him, but those who know both sides and it's something in the workings, like, he was told 25% different. That's a fact. That happened, so he did that. But it was not a legal requirement. It was a creative requirement, but they just said legal because it was an easy way of saying it to him. But that still happened. John 100% was telling the truth. you know.
And then he got slammed down for it and withdrew it and deleted the comments, and then all of a sudden it was a creative decision.
Which
nothing
is
else has been said about it.
Which is fine. I mean, that's an easy metric to give to a designer, saying, I love this design, but we're in an altered timeline, we're in a reboot, 25% different, but it's a great design, just 25% different, which doesn't include like paint scheme and stuff. That's an easy metric to say. It's like fourth. You understand that? If he said, oh yeah, I want it to be 32% different, you know, I mean, it doesn't tell you anything. Or 50% different, you can understand that. You know, I've just designed a shuttle, and, I mean, Stuart, how different would you say my shuttle is to the TOS shuttle?
Ooh, a good 45%.
I was going to say 50-50 probably. It's like the same but different. But
it's getting there. But yeah.
So but that's it.
You can tell what it is and what it's not at the same time.
Yeah, but you understand as soon as we say it's about 50% different. It's like, okay, so it's clearly what it is, but it's clearly different.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Joseph puts in €2 and says, hi, my favorite duo. Missed the start, still in the car. Well, glad you could make it, and you didn't miss... Well, you're going to have to go back and rewatch. We had some interesting discussions.
Joseph, are you listening to us or watching us? Because in the... So, are we echoing in your car right now?
Just be careful.
This is BBC Radio. That's a station. BBC Radio 2 with the 10:30 news. Today in Star Trek, J.J. Abrams has been fired from all Star Trek films for the next 50 years. And his children. And we've just been compressed.
He has been banned from touching anything Star Trek.
That is it for today's news. On your radio.
Nemesis puts in £2. Thank you very much. Love your videos. Keep on trekking, he says. The hell are you doing?
Doing the theme song.
Look at our faces are all screwed up again.
It's actually pretty cool.
It's kind of creepy and weird.
It's surprisingly balanced. Well, yeah, but you're delayed. This is happening now, you know.
I know. So now I look like an idiot.
Oh, dear. Watching, of course, wife's driving. Oh, cool. So we're using so much into
Let your wife drive? You're a brave, brave man. Oh, see, now we're going to be slapped down for being sexist again.
Oh.
I let Sylvia drive occasionally, usually when I'm hungover. And it's like... Okay, we got to where we're going, thank God.
I don't drive, so I don't, like, whatever. Interesting side comment though, Stuart. Off topic, as we're very on topic today, but no ESRP. Not sure what that means, but I feel Patrick is a bit too old to be in a new Star Trek show, even though I'm sure I would enjoy it. Thoughts, Stuart?
Well, he's not going to be an action star, I don't think, like he was in the movies. He's going to go back to being...
Have you seen Indiana Jones 4?
Unfortunately, yes.
Old man, action hero.
True.
Come here, Sonny.
Yeah, well, poor Jill is disoriented when I'm on the top, not the bottom. That sounds really bad.
What?
I shouldn't have said that. She says the top left, so that sounds better. But we're sorry, Jill. It's just he's doing the stream tonight. He's hosting it, not me.
Hello.
So that's why it switched, because he's doing his Skype thing. But yeah, anyway, I don't think Patrick Stewart's too old at all. He's a fantastic actor. He's not going to be doing a lot of action-based things, I don't think, necessarily.
Look at Star Trek the TV show. He didn't either. I mean, it's perfectly within his character to do a lot of sitting down and I mean, Red Letter Media referenced recently, you know, what made original Star Trek interesting. I was rewatching the Into Darkness review because I just listen to stuff I'm editing, and they cut from Spock punching Khan at the end, saying that's how the JJVerse deals with problems. Cut straight to Picard in the conference room discussing the problem with their team, and they're all delivering what they think, and it becomes a sense of working out and what do you do, and that was a lot better. So, Smart Trek, what they think, and it becomes a...
I got to address a question that came up from one of our admins, Doug Clements, earlier. He said, for each of us, what is our favorite element about the Kelvin timeline, or the JJVerse?
Okay. Well, what should we do each film? Because that's a bit more of a subset.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
So you get lots of answering there for no super chat votes, admin. For the first one, I mean, still for me, it's the Klingon battlecruiser design. For its half a second featured, it was a tremendous. That would easily be a D7 class refit or a Katinga class refit. It would fit into both roles, and still evolve in and out of the other ships. It's a tremendously clever redesign. Yeah.
Okay. What I liked out of the first movie, besides what you just said, that was pretty cool. The music. I thought the music in the new movies is exemplary. I love the soundtrack. It still feels Star Trek to me, even though it's not typical Star Trek. I think that was very well done. So there you go. So now it's Into Darkness time.
Oh, that involves a little bit of thinking, doesn't it? I will say the vengeance has kind of grown on me. I had to talk about this with someone else the other day. The hole in the source is still absurd and you can't justify it. It doesn't, But I kind of like it. It would have been better as like a silver ship, because black, again, you can't justify it. It's not a smart thing. It's space. Come on, be real. But I guess it is a defense for those ships that have windows.
Well, yeah, exactly.
You can imagine the Mr. Plinkett. Oh. It's that sort of dumb reaction. But I actually, it's very, the front view especially, again, if you filled in the source, it would be even better. But it's like, those engines are real good engines. Real cool engine design. It's not my favourite thing, but saying that, I think I've appreciated more over time. Also, one says Pike. Yeah, Pike was a real good puppet.
Pike was, Captain Ron Phillips, $2. Thank you. Yes, Pike was definitely a big part of one of the good things. See, for me, Into Darkness, one of my favorite things about Into Darkness is Carol Marcus.
Oh, yeah.
Just going to go there and say that. So, simplify it. There you go.
No, it's true. And I think she was almost better as a character than the first one, because she actually had a bit more, sort of more to do. Like, she had a lot of potential. They're obviously thinking, right, she could be the regular as part of the crew, which I think was a missed opportunity for Star Trek 3. That would have been an obvious choice and create another level of whatever. I've got digital copies of all the movies. Let me skim, because I'm generally trying to think of something I really enjoyed in Into Darkness. I'm having a real hard time here trying to think of what I actually enjoyed most, which is sad. But
I don't mind watching Into Darkness. It's a good action movie.
It's better than the first one as an action movie, I think.
Yeah, but you got to take off your Star Trek hat to watch it. I think Benedict Cumberbatch does a fantastic job as a villain. He's just not Khan, and it's a fun watch. It is a fun movie to watch. You got Admiral Marcus, great actor. One of my favorite things from that movie that wasn't even in the movie because it was a deleted scene was where the original Constitution class was hanging from his the ceiling in his office, and it was a fun movie. It just wasn't necessarily Trek.
Even though it was trying much harder to be and failing. I literally am scrolling and I can't see much that I'm like, that stands out as being something I really enjoyed. Maybe the Admiral's uniforms were they the first one? I don't know.
The lineup of the ships.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah,
cool.
I'll give you that. There we go.
Some nice tie-ins. The Phoenix, the ring ship.
Yeah, that was great. And John Eves helped with that. We know.
Yeah.
If it just been John Harrison and kept that would have been great. Just Section 31 agent. That's a good villain. You give him a bit more interesting backstory than that, but a Section 31 agent turned bad. That's a strong enough villain.
He could have been one of Khan's supermen that was accidentally ejected from the Botany Bay, so they found just his escape pod and found out he was a human augment, but not Khan. But he knew of Khan. He was part of Khan's crew.
Or that, but explain the vengeance. What if he was Section 31's genetic experiment in modern day to see if that would work? Like, they experimented again, and it made his intelligence bigger, but his arrogance bigger. And so we saw what the Khan super soldier did in 1996. What would a 2140 super soldier do? Now, that would have been a real nice reference to Khan. But guess what? Not actually having Khan. Because the audience will understand a super soldier, human, Section 31 agent. And yes, he helped design a ship. And that would explain how he steals it. And he's smarter and better and faster. And then him being... That
would have been easy to do with that plot, too. The whole movie just reeked of Section 31, including the vengeance.
Because then imagine when remember when he's in the prison cell, the jail cell, and he's like, "My name is Khan. I'm sorry you don't know who I am, but go look at your historical databanks and get why I'm being so dramatic. I was a king once. And it's like they couldn't.
And then they pull
deleted
up
that
Khan, and it's like
Indian, yeah.
that's not you. Oh well,
I
I
had
was just
surgery.
saying it was me because I figured you'd be scared. I'm actually this person. I don't know.
But imagine though, imagine if instead of being in that containment facility, if he said, "You think you're safe? No, I am a Section 31 agent." And Kirk's like, "Wait, no, really? Shit." Spock's like, "No, they do not exist." And Kirk turns and says, "No, they do. That was part of blah, blah, blah. You know, that would have been even like, you know."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's move on to Beyond. Like I said, the first half of Beyond, I really enjoyed the opening scene with the little critters that attack Kirk, and then him coming up with his shirt ripped, and it had a very TOS feel. And then he sits in the captain's chair during his captain's log, drinking his coffee, and how each whatever has become very episodic. I just laughed at that. Yeah. I thought it was great. So the beginning of that one felt very, very Trek. Sure, at the end it kind of fell apart a bit with the motorcycle and killing all the bad guys with the music again.
I don't have much problem with those though. It's so inside the box, but it's so inside the box compared to the other two.
Yeah, and the Enterprise gets destroyed. That's my favorite part of the third one.
Oh yeah, of both third ones. No, it's 4, 3.
Beyond.
Yeah. 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 I mean, that first scene is just, that film is well written. It felt like it needed a villain to be villainous. They could have made it a little more multidimensional, but I think that first scene is pretty much Trek.
The whole Crawl being a former.
It almost works. It almost works.
There's something about it that didn't sit right with me. It didn't feel right. Like they needed a little bit of a rewrite there to make the bad guy. I don't know. It was just it was a really weird situation.
Now, if it had been actually Hayes, the leader of the Makos from the NX-01, right?
Well, just one second. Bradley Briggs says, "Where did the motorcycle freaking come from?" It was on board the Franklin.
Yeah.
If you watch, they do a cutaway of it in the one magazine. There's actually a storage spot for the motorcycle, but it could just be the captain's personal preference. But I guess it's an emergency escape motorcycle.
Well, that was olden days. I mean, whatever. At that point, it wasn't a Mako ship. When it was lost, it was a transport ship. So yeah, I'm totally fine with that. You can see how informal it is. But no, imagine if instead of Kral, it had been actually the actor who played Hayes from Enterprise, who was older. He was captain of the NX-05, and that went down. So it was actually a full NX-01 refit, as in not like the Doug refit, but like a slightly sleeked up refit.
Yeah.
And that's what crashed. A literal direct reference to Enterprise, which would have been cool, but a slightly more modernized one. And he's a soldier that couldn't adapt to peace. He fought in the Romulan War. He lost friends in the Romulan War, and the ship crashes here. And he's pent up because he's been trying to get home for 50 years, and he can't. But he's trying, and he's the leader that led the army. That if he wasn't on the NX-01, they would have been killed, and the Earth would have been destroyed. Like, he was a hero. Who is the Kral guy that was on the NX-01? That's some random soldier who fought in the Xindi War. There wasn't a Xindi War. You sent the NX-01. Then you didn't hear from them for 9 months. Then they came back and said it was over. You know what I mean? He had to be on the NX-01 to even fight or see the Xindi. But it was still a well-written script, considering. Just falls down a little bit. And also the uniforms. The Beyond uniforms are rather good too.
Yes, I would totally agree with that. They were an improvement over the other uniforms, for sure.
Just not having Delta and shiny. Jesus, It's not rocket science.
So there you go. Those are our favorite things.
There you go.
Doug, hopefully you listened to that. If you didn't, if you left, I'm sorry. But everybody else heard it, so it's fine. Now, one of the other things I wanted to talk about on this stream was what we would have liked to have seen from a Star Trek 4, including Kirk's dad. I mean, if there was a couple of ideas that I had when I first heard that, either it was going to go into the mirror universe, which I could totally see them doing. That'd be hard to explain, I guess, to a general movie audience, though, in 2 hours. because they want to make it for general audiences. They don't want something that only Star Trek fans can relate to.
Oh, the mirror universe, though, you could set up in a scene.
I suppose.
Let me write that down, because we should, obviously we've got some time, we can talk about this. Let me write that down. So I should go back. Because you know me, I can invent pictures on the fly, so we can talk about it.
Should I keep talking about another thing I want to see?
Yeah, jump through and I'll write them down. I can jump back to them.
Another option, of course, with Kirk's father is time travel, going back in time to the moment of, I don't know, his birth, obviously, because that's when his dad died, saving the Kelvin somehow, totally altering the future of his crew and having to deal with those and fix it, perhaps. That's another option.
Yeah.
And then if you take Kirk's dad out of the equation, you know, some of the, like, they like to revisit TOS episodes for some reason because they can't come up with an original idea. So Doomsday Machine would have been great. Balance of Terror would have been great. Some of the original series episodes. And we kind of got the trope of the first one is the first one. The second one is the Wrath of Khan. Third one is the search for a new Enterprise. It's something dies and comes back in the third one. It's kind of a trope. So the third one or the fourth one could have involved time travel of some sort, as we saw in Star Trek 4. And I think that would have been fine. 2
non-super chat questions to answer briefly. So keep what you have in mind. Brian Kedson just got here. Do you think that the JJ Enterprise will appear in any future Star Trek Prime timelines? No, because it in no way could possibly have ever existed in any Prime version of the timeline in any way, shape, or form. No.
Good answer.
Bill Barkley, isn't the Kelvinverse already a mirror universe? No, it's not a mirror. It's an alternate. Important.
Yes.
Because they're all pretty similar, just more reckless and more testosterone and more... Yes.
Somebody said, wow, shocking, but I don't know what they're referring to, so...
Do I?
Holy shit, is this for sure? Well, the articles say it's been shelved. Some say it's been canceled. There's a few different articles written in the last day or so. Shelved is just a polite way of saying that we don't want to lose face by saying we canceled it because we want to have hope. So basically it's for real because they're going to be losing... Bad Robot is going to be losing their contract to make Trek movies soon. So they would need to start something really quick to get it out the door. And Chris Pine is holding out for more money, like his original contract stated, because they thought Beyond would perform better, and Beyond underperformed, so they wanted to cut his salary back. Even though he says he loves Trek and he loves the character of Kirk, he's holding out for more money. And I'm like, well, boo-hoo, cry me a river. Instead of making, 15 million, you want to make 20 million. Oh, wow, you greedy bastard. If you really enjoyed the character and the franchise, I would take a pay cut. I would finish out the final film with a bang.
Well, the problem is they did finish out the final film, the third film. Like, they did finish with a bang. You know what I mean?
True.
But, if you think about it, he's doing that. Any sequel is not going forward in your career. By definition, it's just sort of staying with what you've already got. So if you did a fourth Trek film, which in itself is a niche film, it's not going to win him awards, and that's what you do acting for all the time, is to get recognised for special performances. And it's not like Kirk is a very complex character. It's quite an easy ride for him. It really is. Yeah. Doesn't have makeup, doesn't really have stunts, doesn't really have that much complex dialogue. They didn't even give him technobabble.
He just gets beat up all the time. Yeah. That's tough.
Which is awesome, great. And then takes 6 months out of his year so he can't film something else. And then another film offers him 25. But if people hear he's done it for 10, the next film he's offered, he's going to say, oh, he's happy to take pay cuts, and they'll offer him a lot less. And so now 8 years in build up his career to earn a certain amount will be undone a bit. So doing it for love is fine, but unless it was like an amazing, like the best script and award-winning and everyone else was involved, and for him personally, because it's an ensemble piece too, so he's not going to get all the time, whereas something like, did you see Split, the M. Night Shyamalan film?
Haven't seen it yet.
Okay. So it's the guy from X-Men Future Perfect, Xavier. Now in those films, bar the first one, he gets less and less to do. And he's not taxing himself. He's not doing. He's just in it. He sort of works, but he's not being stretched there, and he's getting paid a lot more money than Split. He's literally the entire movie. He does tremendous, and he got a claim for it. Awards for it, or at least nominations, and he got a lot of the budget, but you took a pay cut for something that's like that challenges you, that gives you something. And then the final result is like, oh, I see why he did that. I can see why he took a $2 million pay cut, because huck, that was cool. You know, and the script's also very good. So it's a weird thing. Like if well, for example, if there was a Star Trek 4, but it was actually Kirk and Spock only, just those two, which means they got all the time, and it was a really solid script, then they could re-alter like how they did it. But the fact that it needs to be on, I mean, all the actors are known people. That's the problem. All of them, they didn't hire unknowns. They're all, you know.
Yeah. Well, Jeffrey Jacobs puts in $5 and says, Chris Pine is a typical spoiled star, I'm afraid, because I do like him, but he still basically pulled the I gotta feed my family card. And I agree. I kind of lost a lot of respect for Chris Pine because of this move. I mean, somebody asked in the chat, too, if Chris Hemsworth was holding out. He was, but I think they kind of dropped him from it because he wasn't mentioned in the latest articles.
Yeah, but he's a primary Avenger, though.
Yeah, well, exactly. I don't have a problem with him saying no, but you can still write another Star Trek movie. I just think that Chris Pine's a little full of himself at this point because all his characters that he plays in movies are basically all exactly the same. So, yeah, I just think if you say you like the franchise and you like the character and you respect it, why not take a little bit of a pay cut to just. If you're the only one, if you're one of the main reasons this is not moving forward, I think that's just selfish and greedy. But and
I do think
I can't.
By all the implications of what the budget need to be, he would be at least half a pay cut. Whereas every movie meant to get more, so it'd be less than he got in Beyond, like less by quite a lot less. So it's not just a pay cut; it's not an upgrade and a diminishing from the last film. I mean, talk about disrespect. It's like I did 3 for you. I didn't do as much pay because I was expecting more in 4. I've done other films since, and now you want me to earn less than the last film, despite me being.
Well, that's just because the last film didn't perform as good as we thought. So why don't you just shut your pie hole and just agree to take a little bit of pay cut? We would have paid you if we could have, but we can't. So, boo hoo! You're making $2 million less. You're still making multi-million dollars. I have no sympathy for people like that. I'm sorry.
Although there is a secondary coin to this, which is the studio doesn't have confidence in it to give it the budget it needs. That's the other portion.
That's because of the way that Beyond performed, because people were boycotting the movie because of CBS's...
Because of Into Darkness as well. Like, it wasn't because of Beyond's quality. That's the thing. Beyond has positivity. So, for example, if they were presented with a script that's really effing amazing and said, you know what, this is worth the money, now we've got the money. Like, that's because there wasn't a good script. There wasn't a director that, you know, like, if Tarantino came on board, like, if that film actually goes ahead and he wants to do a JJ film, he'll probably, and he writes the script himself, I guarantee they'll all take a pay cut because that film will be better. By the very nature of who's writing, who's directing it, the project itself is worth it more. But would you really want to do another I mean, it's like you can't imagine that they all thought Into Darkness was the best film ever. No one did Into Darkness to do art. Those of the cast, they did it purely for a paycheck. None of them did it for art. You know what I mean? So if you're not doing it for art, and the fourth one's even worse a script, what's the point? Even you're ruining reputation on it. You know, it's like.
Joseph Petrick puts in €2 and says taking less is precedent for future career. That's true. I do buy that. He wants animation number 20 as well.
Yes, 20. Which one's 20? 20 is...
the US says Venture Flyby. I agree that, but I agree that to some degree, but at the same time, with a name like Chris Pine, taking that pay cut would actually make you look good into a lot of people's eyes, and be willing to.
But you don't know if, like, did the other actors willing to take a pay cut or not? Was this just him?
I think they did. I think Carl Urban took one.
But he's actually a Star Trek fan, though. I mean, there's a
exactly. He wanted to do it for the love of Trek.
But also, he hasn't got, like, have you seen what he does in those movies? It's not exactly strenuous. I mean,
no, but
Chris Pine has at least twice as many film days.
He's the most loved out of all the recast, as far as
by Trek
most
fans,
accurate to his character. Yeah,
but not necessarily but general audience will probably like Pine more because he has a lot more to do.
Yeah,
I'm just in the film field, so I'm kind of like trying to balance all these different.
I know, but I'm in the real life field, and it's just
but
ridiculous.
Without the film field, you wouldn't have the film to bitch about. So.
Captain Ron Phillips puts in $2. Vic Mignogna did Kirk for free. Why can't pine for less.
Well,
Exactly.
he did have
That's a true passion project.
Well,
for sure.
they did get SAG pay rates because they had to legally to get SAG actors. So no, they all had to get paid, just ultra minimum. But no. And besides, he built the sets pretty much with his own money. So he yeah, little bit different. Little bit different. I mean, for example, if J.J. Abrams, right, if he was told, right, you can make a Star Wars fan film, how much are your money going to put in? Oh, screw this, I'll put in like 50k. Like he probably would have done it. For example, if what's a famous Trek super fan? Didn't they say the guy that owns Microsoft was a Trek fan? Wasn't that somewhere?
Bill Gates?
Yeah. Because when I read that somewhere.
I'm sure, but
because one single bankroller could make a difference. I think a show where a single bankroller end up.
Well, while you're thinking, Madison Knight puts in £5 and says, if you want actors to work for less, you need to write scripts that tempt them, as Samuel said. Yep. I'm pretty sure the Argo was in Nemesis to get Patrick Stewart on board.
Or to take a pay cut, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Look at, say, Michael Dorn. What did he get to do in Nemesis? He did Nemesis because he got paid. He didn't do it for any other reason, you know.
Well, you're part of that ensemble cast that's been has a history of 7 years or more.
No,
you want to not be the one that fucks it up.
Oh no, it's like
by being a dickhead.
No, you wouldn't say no, but he didn't read the script and say, "Oh, Worf, look at Worf." He's like, "Okay, I have 26 lines,
and I'm making $1 million a line. Woohoo!"
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Harrison Ford. They paid me.
But it's again, I think they could tell they didn't make Nemesis for art. They didn't make Insurrection for art. They made First Contact thinking that was good and be good.
Mm-hmm. And it was.
Like, you can read the script and see, I do think Insurrection had promise, and we know that the individual Nemesis script was much better than the final film version, and several of them actually said this was a good script. I don't know. Yeah. Oh yes, I know you don't want this, but the most obvious thing if they want to quickly commission a film is do a Sulu standalone film. Captain Sulu, get John Cho, if that's his name, bring in Pine for a 1-day cameo. That's fine. Have a handing over the torch. He'll do that for a day because it's only about being the lead. I mean, I'm sure Pine would come back as a secondary role for a lot less. It's all amount of days per money.
I'm sure he's got an ego big enough that he wouldn't come back for a secondary role. He'd have to be the lead.
No, I disagree. I disagree.
I don't.
Just...
Like I said, I've lost all respect for the guy. He really needs to do some stuff in my eyes to actually get back in my good books. I love him as Kirk. I really do.
Yeah, it's okay as Kirk. Yeah.
But anyway.
But Sulu would be easy because he's on lesser being paid actors. You make a JJ Excelsior more based on this, which on the screen, the Beyond Prize. And you have cameos from the original cast. It gets to be an exploration film. It's an easy sell. And then Sulu, George Takei can come in as Sulu's dad. I mean, it goes without saying, you have it to do with Sulu's dad, George Takei in uniform. Can you imagine him in uniform again? Okay, JJ uniform, sure, but you'd again iterate it towards the TOS one, so be a little bit crisper, a little bit whatever. Well, I'm fine with him to wear whatever. How cool would that be? Sulu back as a Sulu, just Reginald Sulu. And he's having be a captain. So it's like 2 Captain Sulus in one movie. Captain and his dad. What do you think?
No.
Oh, come on. That'd be so cool. You can have Captain Sulu. Just 2.
It's a no from me.
Ugh.
That should be a GIF. Somebody should make that into a GIF of me saying
That's a no.
It's a no from me.
Oh, Insurrection is the most hated Trek movie? I think Into Darkness is the most hated Trek movie, but okay. That and 5.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? And Insurrection is better than 5 and Into Darkness. Yeah. Overall.
As Trek goes, yeah.
As Trek goes. Yeah.
Honestly, if I had a choice between watching Insurrection and Into Darkness, I'd probably watch Into Darkness.
Okay.
Just so I could turn off my brain and enjoy the action. Plus, I like Benedict Cumberbatch. He's a good actor. And I can watch it in 3D. I've got the 3D Blu-ray of it. I like 3D. So...
It's true because we've all got personal preferences. Some people think Star Trek 1 is the best Star Trek movie. You know, it is.
I know somebody that thinks that. It's just because it's
the most Trek.
it's their new Trek after TOS, and then it changed again. So yeah,
it's tricky. Although having seen having been into the CGI world and knowing all that stuff, actually watching Insurrection, the CGI is bad. The visual effects is real rough. Like I literally could make better today. I mean, I'm not even kidding. Okay, and the Nebula itself I would have trouble doing, but the no, it's real not good. I literally could make better.
It's real not good.
All I have to do is get good models of the other two, the other special insurrection ships. I mean, the end stuff would be difficult, but all the first bits would be pretty easy. Yeah, they're not good. They're real cheap. I actually watched because I was looking at the E just for detail's sake, and if you actually look at actually let me bring it up. Hold on, you talk about something, and I'll show the audience the little thing I noticed.
Okay. Well, I've got another super chat
There we go.
of
Perfect.
€2 from Joseph again. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Captain loves Star Trek 5. I watched his review. I don't love Star Trek 5. I like Star Trek 5 because it's got a very... It brings back the trifecta of Kirk, Bones, and Spock. It has their connection throughout the whole film, and it's more lighthearted. It's not as serious. I don't mind it for that reason. I think their characters in that are very well written for TOS.
5 has some real good highs and some real low lows.
True.
Like real low lows. Whereas Insurrection is just a big load of middle. And that's the problem.
It's flatline.
It's flatline, but that means it's more potentially averagely good. Nemesis has some good thoughts, but bad execution, and some clearly things that, the director was not a Star Trek fan. You can tell it makes a huge difference. That's why wherever you say Insurrection still feels like a Trek movie, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
Okay.
John Hancock puts in $2 and says the book for Final Frontier is way better, as they always are. The novelizations are always better. They add little tidbits, and there was a lot cut out of the movie that was in the script that was on the book that should have been in the movie, like the whole marshmallow thing. And in case you guys don't know, McCoy tampers with the data banks so that when Spock's research is camping out, he changes marshmallow to marshmallow and whatever. And that's why when he long marshmallow and says marshmallow, and McCoy kind of smirks and a marshmallow, so that stuff should have been left in, but I can see why they took it out for time and all that. But I think little things like that make the books a lot more interesting and a lot better, I think. So I agree.
I know I've said this a few times before, but I, for the longest time, thought marshmallows were called marshmallows. Why?
Really?
Well, why would I not?
I don't know.
That was my only. Yeah, but if you were told marshmallows first, what's this? It's a marshmallow. Okay, like that's all the information.
And
I was given.
John, I did add you as a moderator. It says you're a moderator. You're not showing up blue with a wrench though, so probably the next stream it'll take. I can remove you as moderator and try re-adding you, but he's not having moderator privileges apparently.
Oh dear.
Even though it says he's a moderator on my end.
Okay, so I just loaded up this Insurrection still, and I'll wait for Stuart to load in to get in real time. I just removed you as a moderator and re-added you as a moderator, so maybe that'll work. All right, so we're in real time. I can see it now. Okay, so what do you think I'm referring to? If you had to guess. I do apologise. The resolution's obviously help or not help here. What do you think I'm seeing? As the resolution's obviously
Well, it's obviously the captain's yacht.
No. So this is the shot where the captain's yacht comes down. Look at the deflector. Look at what blurry mess that is. This is meant to be a cool deflector with multiple levels of technology. It is literally a blurry texture which they applied. It's absolutely appalling. And then behind it, if you look literally behind it, there's absolutely nothing there. It's just grey non-texture. Literally nothing. That's the level of detail.
Yeah, but it's a background shot. It's supposed to be out of focus, even though the rest of the ship isn't.
That's what I mean though. That's not how the shot's composed. Everything else is crystalline clear. That really stands out to me. It's a real.
Never noticed.
Yeah, that's bizarrely poor. Let me load up my 3D model from Nemesis, and I'll show you what the shot should look like, because I mean, they did a much better job in Insurrection. But it's like in Nemesis, but it's like it's some real poor VFX that are just like lazy. But that film was actually made on a different software, which is unique. They actually half did it for the movie. That's why none of the models ever converted out, because it was a unique software. That's why a lot of stuff doesn't work properly. The gas stuff was actually really good for its time. That's why that holds up. But the ships itself were done pretty poorly, and the modelling work was not good.
Oh, that's right. I listened to Samuel talk a lot about models. I'm just kidding, Samuel. I love you. Abba Bab puts in $5. It says 3261, First Contact, Generations 4, 5, Insurrection, Nemesis, The Room, Super Mario Brothers the movie, then every JJ film. Rock on Trekyards. Does that mean Trekyards is below every JJ film? Because that would be sad. But the rock on part, I think, is good. That's a great list. You put Super Mario Brothers underneath The Room. Then every JJ film. Wow. I think that's being overly harsh. I'm not a huge JJ fan, but speaking of director's cuts, Paramount would commission CBS Digital to recreate FFX from the ground up at 1080p and 4K ultra high def. Director's cut, Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Well, you can already see quite a lot of grain already in motion picture. I'd love to. I mean, I want to see 4K of all those films. I think it'd be really fun to see. But
John Hathcock, you're blue and you've got a wrench. Hopefully, you have the powers of a moderator now.
Ta la da da da. Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to. Am I done now? Okay, yep. And up. Oh, it's zoomed in shot slightly. Dupe.
Captain the Admiral is in the house. I guess people can hear that Sylvia just got home.
Yes.
Say hi, Sylvia.
Hi, Sylvia.
Hi, Sylvia.
Did you say bye, Sylvia?
Oh,
Hi.
I said hi.
Sylvia.
Oh, Samuel says hi.
Samuel said hi.
Hello, Samuel, darling.
Hello.
Absolutely wonderful to hear from you.
Oh, thank you. But you can't hear me, so I can do whatever I want. More.
That's right.
I love Stuart Moore. Da da da.
Oh, that's true though, right?
I know.
So
I'm just lighting
hi,
this
Admiral.
shot. I'm lighting this shot poorly, but it's just something quick.
What did the boy say?
He said that like he can say whatever he wants because you can't hear him, and he said he loves me more than you.
Well, you're pretty.
It's true.
Ah.
Everybody's saying hi, Admiral Foley. So everybody in the chat's saying hi to you.
Admiral Foley, who the fuck is that? Did you get a promotion?
Yeah, her last name's not Foley, guys, but they don't all know that because we're married. But
What, do you owe me?
they assume that. See, we're not going to get into this.
I feel like you put somebody's name on something.
It's a fair assumption, Stuart. Don't worry.
I know it's a fair assumption.
I've had this talk too.
Damn, antiquated.
We were going to combine our last names and be Folovac or Godely.
That would be awful.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be
Her last
pretty.
name's Gotovac, in case you guys are wondering. Gotovitz.
Gotova.
Gotovitz. There you go.
Anyone-
Wow, this is going way off the rails, this chat.
I'm sorry, do you want me to shut up?
Should I tell my wife to shut up, guys? Show of hands. Put the Admiral on. No, she just got home from work. She's just got comfortable, so she's not going to want to get on here right now.
Completely buck-ass naked.
You hear that? Yeah. Heard it here, folks.
I think you're making Samuel blush.
No, not really, but right.
Is it
So
his face that goes red or anything else?
Oh, I don't know. I don't care.
I thought you were bestie.
What is the correct spelling for Sylvia? Well, you got them both wrong, Joseph. It's Silvija. Because it's Croatian. If I want to die, I can tell you to shut up.
I wouldn't kill you. That's no fun.
Okay, put her on now for sure, laughing my ass off. Oh my god.
okay, so you can all see
Yeah, Samuel's doing his okay. Yeah, Samuel can now compare these two shots.
So this is the shot for Insurrection. As you can see, it's got some texturing. Now, obviously, well, what's interesting with Nemesis, they never did a shot this close to the deflector. But they did a shot this close to the deflector in this movie, and yet it's so absolutely appalling. And as you can see, yeah, there's no texture on the top. The deflector is very, very pixely. It's absurdly pixely, but there is some texturing on the sides. If we swap to the 3D model, ignore the deflector. It needs some just resolution-y thing. But as you can see, instantly it's a lot crisper. Now, like I say, the deflector is being lit internally, which it doesn't necessarily like doing. If I do that and I make it lit individually, it'll probably be a little bit cleaner. But already you should be able to see it's got physical mass to it. If that makes sense. And you can see the texture around it is a lot cleaner. Where is the deflector? I've changed this one so often, I always forget where it is. No.
Someone made the joke, how does that vac clean? Does it pick up cat hair well? And that's one of the funny jokes that I like to use when I talk to people about her last name. It's like, Sylvia, go to vacuum. That's her last name. It's a joke. Don't freak out, guys. She hits me every time I say it, but she's way across the room. She's probably going to throw something at me. Please don't, because you're going to break something.
Why can't I find the deflector?
It could have been Sylvia, go make me a sandwich. That could have been her last name, but... This is a bad stream.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, see, no, it's not.
Yes.
That should be the
I hope your kids have Stuart's last name. Yeah, well, no. It's, never mind. It's none of your business. Madison, feel like a third wheel, Samuel?
Yeah.
Tricycles are cool.
Tricycles are cool. It's when you become a fifth wheel that there's a problem.
God, I am literally not able to find this. Why? It's yellow. Why am I not able to find this?
A lorry.
Is that it? No, that's not it either. The problem with this is there's so much. There it is. Okay. Well, yeah. Whatever. That's close enough. Okay, so as you can see now, the deflector has a lot more physical detail as compared. Sorry about the slight delay there, guys. Again, swap over. That's that one. Real blurry. This one actually exists. So yeah, but again, it needs lighting thingies for it to work. Yeah.
Yes.
Star Trek isn't about flashy effects, it's about story. That's where it all went wrong. No? Have you seen Star Trek 2? They have flashy effects and they have a good story. Seen Star Trek 4? They have flashy effects.
You have a nice marriage of both. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Have you seen Voyager? DS9 have flashy VFX, definitely, and a good story.
James Byron Antcliffe puts in £2 and says, thoughts on Star Trek Discovery lawsuit advancing. Will Star Trek Discovery get a season 3? Absolutely it will. And I've heard there's been a lot of hiccups with the lawsuit. The judge has been kind of denying a lot of stuff. So CBS really isn't getting far with that from what I've heard. But we haven't been up to date on that. Really haven't been really looking into it. So that's kind of where it stands. It will have a third season. I don't know why people are saying, well, it's all the naysayers and haters that are saying it's not going to have a third season. And the Picard show was brought in to make up for the lack of a third season of Discovery. And I think that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's all politics. Star Trek is no longer about the art. TNG season 1 was they thought it would be a good cash cow, but also was given artistic control, for better or for worse. But it was also still sort of about the art. So yeah, that's the deflector. Although you can see it's interesting with the fact you've got some inner and outer bits, which I never even noticed before. Because normally it's on. It's weird.
It's like a cathedral window.
It really does.
Belongs on the sarcophagus ship.
Yeah. Or this still, which we'll see in a second, does that look like Marty McFly with? Oh, yeah, it's already on there with the clock tower at the end of Back to the Future. Let me show you the first contact. Because people say, well, what's it meant to look like? Well, it actually has a distinct look like. Although, yes, someone's pointed out they got destroyed in first contact. But, you know, rebuilt, better, stronger, faster.
Any word on any Star Trek memorabilia auctions coming up again? I haven't heard anything, but if there is, I want to get a catalog because I love looking through those catalogs.
Yeah, it's like they have to take high-res photos, and that's certainly nice. Like, for the first time we ever see something in clear high-res, because, I mean, how many times have we all been looking at... I mean, this is what Trekyards does so well. How many times have we been looking at, you know, this static SD frame and said, oh, look at all the detail that it might be there. And then we actually have to appreciate it. So, yeah, certainly. Those are always useful. I have so many windows now. I should probably delete some of those.
Sean Corpier says, I might be strange, but I love Insurrection. Not strange. Everybody's entitled to like what they like.
I like it.
I like a lot of things about Insurrection personally, but
just let itself down.
This wouldn't be on my first to rewatch list.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, most of TNG wouldn't for me, like, as just a random watch. But I don't like rewatching episodes I've seen a few times. I just remember things so well. So yeah, this is the first contact version, real miniature, and you can see still limited detail, but it looks a lot better. And you can see the reality of the deflector, and then, you know, that version again, and then that version. So they thematically got close, but it doesn't actually equate to the detail level it needed to be real. Whereas the Nemesis one actually tried. So that was nice. Trying is important.
Trying is important.
G.I. Joe. Oh, no.
I was thinking that. I was thinking, how am I going to incorporate that?
Yep.
Trying is half the battle.
Yep.
Knowing is the other half. Actually, the other half is 25% red lasers, 25% blue lasers. But Elmer Arena puts in $10.
Oh, wow.
No comment or no anything. So thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Thank you. That's amazing. That really helps. Controversial comment, Stuart. 90 Lancaster. Let's be honest. All the TNG movies are pretty poor. Like, worse than Voyager poor. Thoughts?
I really enjoyed Generations. I know a lot of people will lambaste me for that, but I enjoyed seeing both together. I really enjoyed First Contact. It's an absolutely fantastic movie, just on its own.
Yep.
Take it out as Star Trek, really, and it would be fine.
Yep.
Insurrection, it's... And Nemesis, I actually enjoyed lots of Nemesis as well, especially the battle at the end, because I'm a ship guy. I love ships, and that was just a fantastic battle. And then seeing a ship actually do ramming speed and ram into another ship as a tactic in Star Trek is pretty fantastic. I mean, we see that. Sylvia's in the chat now, guys. There's Sylvia. First Contact for the win, she says. I'm a flat dimensioner. That's funny. No, I enjoy the TNG movies. Insurrection's the only one that really doesn't work for me. Nemesis is even pretty good.
Well, we rewatched Nemesis and actually holds up better. I think Generations is the only one that gets worse over time. But that's just me.
I really enjoy Generations.
It's just for me.
I like seeing the update to the bridge.
Yeah.
The Enterprise, and it's a fancy episode of TNG is what it is. So
the problem with me for Generations, it's worse than Discovery in that Discovery is the big missed opportunity show. Well, Generations is the big missed opportunity movie. If you gave anyone the chance to have Kirk and Picard together, you'd never have written what they wrote. It is just like, it's absurd. I mean, you just don't write what they wrote, and they know it. You know, they were writing Generations and at the same time, and guess what? Got all their creative good stuff.
Yeah,
all good things. It's just like, what a waste of these characters. It's good to look at. It's most visually interesting. It's got a lot of cool visual flair to it, but it's like, what a missed opportunity. And even the same raw story, just have Kirk come in halfway through. You know. Have the bee lost in the Nexus. I don't know. There's things you could do to make it really interesting that they didn't do. And he was still good. Like, Shatner still gave it his all. He was given like 20 minutes of time, chopping wood and talk about a woman with like should have been markets. Like so many just raw mistakes that mount up. But the B bit was good, but that shouldn't define a film.
Hun,
Yes?
DJ Odyssey wants you to
Oh.
slap me upside the head. Please, 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 he says.
Thought he said
How much
me.
did you pay me?
Oh.
How much are you paying her, DJ? Oh, and John Hathcock said that killing Data was a wasted opportunity, bad move, but they were leading into another movie with this, with the whole
Yeah.
B4 thing. It was going to be like the equivalent of Spock dying in
Yeah.
Star Trek 3 and coming back in Star Trek 4. So for most of the next movie, B4 would still be adapting to the whole having Data there, but something would happen during the course of the movie that would bring him back full on as Data. So that's what they
Yeah.
were going with. I think it was kind of silly personally, but anyway.
It would have worked in Insurrection. Let him sacrifice himself to destroy the Collector. He's the one that had a personal connection to the planet.
Yeah.
And then, okay, B4 wasn't exactly fitted, but what if then the next movie they found B4 and they said, he's got no brain, put Data's memory back up in him. But I mean, is it okay that Data overwrites B4's mind and becomes Data? Like, is he not just destroying the the B4 personality for what it was?
But it was just a simplistic template. Like there wasn't really much there. So
Sure. But it's like the Tuvix. It's not the same, but the Tuvix discussion, I mean, they still did it.
Oh, that's a tough discussion, that one.
That's one that only works because they were the two main cast members that had contracts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there should be a B49E or B49, the little rolling data head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, B4 just had the base programming, but I think it was going to get more. I think that's what happens with the prequel comics is that Data becomes Captain of the Enterprise F, because his personality takes hold, and even though it's older circuitry and older programming, it gets basically overwritten and upgraded somehow to be advanced enough. So, the double D8 droid. That sounds promising. Terrence Anderson puts in $5. B4 could have been abandoned on the planet if Soong had been there. In Enterprise, he had a connection to the Briar Patch.
Boom. That's interesting, and that would have been a nice. Well,
It's true. It's one of the biggest children.
he did Enterprise. He did that after. Yeah, he did that. Yeah, he did that after Nemesis. Enterprise. No, yes, yeah. Season 1 was Nemesis. So wouldn't that have been cool if actually they'd done during that episode? Oh, the movie took place first, I guess. No, yeah, okay, no. That would have been way too. I mean, if Nemesis was after Enterprise, they could have had a Data cameo in Enterprise as a flash forward, with Data finding other Data in the future. Yeah, the times don't match up for that, but that's interesting.
Lots of possibilities is what we're saying.
But it was 5 to 6 years, 3 to 4 years later, they did the Briar Patch with the Data. But yeah, Temporal Anomaly. Yes, that's my film. Hello, coming out this month. What? So Stuart,
Yes,
did you hear?
That's my name.
Did you hear that Star Trek 4 got cancelled?
What?
Yeah. Did you
When
hear
did this
that?
happen? They canceled the voyage home. I can't go upstairs and watch it now.
Oh yeah, they holiday special it. All records are being destroyed.
Oh, George Lucas is going to run through my door with a sledgehammer and destroy each copy I have because I got more than one.
Oh no, JJ Abrams because he's a bit pissed.
Oh, Jar Jar Abrams.
Yep.
There's a dynamic duo. George Lucas and JJ Abrams running around smashing things with hammers.
Well, they
That's
did
like,
that.
sounds like a fan film.
They did that in Red Letter Media. But they were hammers.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Literally
Yes,
did that,
they did. Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
Gmon78 puts in £5.
Thank you.
Did the JJ Ugly Prize not grow on you at all? Took 10 years, but I finally made peace with her. Yes and no. I give it praise for certain things. From the side, I love the way it looked from the side, the original one. Then they changed the struts and they screwed that up on me. But there's certain elements to it I like. And all it needs is to move those nacelles further out, and I would be so happy with it. but they're too close together. It's too misproportioned for me. So
the thing about that question is there's actually 4 different JJ prizes.
yes.
So which one do you mean? The first one has not got any better. It was as flawed now as it was then. But now you can pick your poison. Do you want the original one? Do you want all bigger impulse engines? Do you want the Beyond version?
The 2009 one was the best with the smaller impulse engines. And
well, no, I think this A is the best. It just needs
the A certainly is.
That's what I mean. That's still the JJ prize. I mean, of those in the JJ films, like it'd still be in that same classification. This one is just it fixes most of the proportion issues.
I don't consider this a JJ prize though.
Oh, no, I get that. But then you're saying, well, has it improved? Well, they did. They knew they had to iterate it, and in each movie they try to improve it.
But they tried to listen to the fans, and so they made it the banana struts, the swept back struts, instead of the struts that everybody complained about, and that just made it really hideous from the side. They tried
Other
making.
views are great though. It's a weird one. It works. I mean, it's great in the movie. It's just when you get your hands on it, it's like, oh, this is.
Yeah, in Beyond, it was actually a really ugly Enterprise, but the shots, and we said this in our review. I've said this a few times. The shots in that movie of the Enterprise when it's going through the asteroids to the planet are beautifully done. I actually really enjoyed them because they picked really good angles for it. And every Enterprise has really good angles. Some have hideous angles. Just don't show off the hideous ones and you're fine. So I really liked it in Beyond, but I did enjoy seeing it get just gutted in Beyond. I was like in the theater like hee.
Yeah, I think
like
I was
a little
too.
kid because Anyway, Gareth Fairclough.
Yes.
Puts in £5. Thank you very much,
thank
sir. JJ prize is the ugly teenager of Trek ships, so ugly, bulbous, misproportioned, and cocky. The JJA is just as bad.
JJA, that's a good name.
Yeah, I'll disagree with you there. I really like the JJA. It's different than the concept art that we've seen from Sean Hargraves.
It's been pulled back a bit into more.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it fixes a lot of the issues. The spacing on the nacelles is correct. They're slimmed down.
It's a real good hybrid of a more unique design versus what they had, and it's actually that deserved at least half a movie, or a web series or something. It's like a real quite interesting. I mean, it's just the refit with more organic curves. Like it really is. If you look at the paint scheme, it's real close. No.
And Gareth puts in another £2.
Ah, thank you.
And yes, I cheered as the JJ prize went boom, evil.
Although it actually added to the narrative. Like it created a sense of tension. It gave them it actually worked real well, and it was a very.
I was going to say, and it addressed all the issues we've heard being part of Trekyards. Well, the neck is a weak point, and they make a point of that and cut its neck. They cut the nacelles off. They attacked all the weak points.
Yeah.
On the ship, and that's what fans have been saying for years, even before the JJ prize, just the TOS Enterprise, the weak spots on it. And this movie just went straight for the throat, literally cut the nacelles off the thing, then slit its throat, and it was just weak points. I liked it.
Well, it's weak if the ship has no shields.
Well, that's what Doug Drexler says. Yeah, you're only as good as your tech. If your tech goes down, you're basically screwed. No matter where your bridge is on the ship, they're going to be able to hit it. So.
I mean, the fact is, think about the stealth phenomenon you might see. If you've got no shields, then the gravitational pull of a planet might start damaging your ship. The whole temperature, the whole temperature of being close to a gas giant or close to a sun might damage you. Being an asteroid field would blow you up. Being in a radiation field might destroy you. Being, there's countless things that deflector shields might be able to protect you from the basic stellar matter, but the shields, even at low yellow alert, that's important. You need them. Any ship that doesn't have them for anything important. I mean, you're taking away a lot of things, and like I say, could they? I mean, I think in Into Darkness, not that's a good indicator to how things should be. But as they do start going through the planet's atmosphere, Earth's atmosphere, don't think they have shields. I feel like they probably lost shields, and yet they
lost shields and structural integrity. I think they make that. They actually say that line. So structural integrity, right there, when you're falling through an atmosphere and you stop suddenly with your RCS thrusters, your nacelles are just going to snap. But whatever.
And
suspension of disbelief for me only goes so far with certain movies, and Star Trek is such an established technologically things kind of make sense. It just Anyway,
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? Andrew Probert put
never
more...
heard of him.
Yeah, no. Put more time into designing the Enterprise D's escape pods, which were never used or seen.
Mm-hmm.
More time into that than they did to design that sequence. Now, not to build it, but to thematically design it. Jay said, yeah, it'll go down from the atmosphere, yeah, go to the planet, it'll go through the clouds, yeah. Okay. And he's like, and he wrote the script, like, yeah, shields are down, oh, the shields, yeah, they're down, oh, action, oh, yeah.
Well, that's what happened to the JJ Prize in the first movie. It's like, it was had the proper colored Bizarre collectors and stuff, and JJ saw it and went, no, I want to change that. I don't want it to look like the original one. Make them
why,
blue.
JJ? Why?
And let's
hold on, JJ. Why? Give us a reason at least, JJ, please. Oh, he's paused.
That's another story. But
Stuart,
and then, of course, the ship's
The Skype died. Lost you a bit there.
What? Am I back now?
Yes, you are. I said, but JJ, why change the facades? Why, JJ?
Oh, because I don't want them to be recognizable as anything TOS. I try to get the TOS stuff pulled from the shelves so that people don't get confused and buy the other Star Trek merchandise. I wanted them to buy mine. He actually tried to get official TOS stuff pulled from the shelves so that people didn't get confused when they bought the stuff. And of course, then the ship, he's like, let's make it bigger. But it's already been designed for that. Well, I want more shuttles and I want this and that. Make it bigger. We should probably change the window. No, it's fine. Just go right ahead. It's fine. Okay, we got some super chats. Gmon78 puts in £5. In Discovery, is the Shepard class just the Shinzo model upside down and modified a little? They were so similar when you compare Eagle Moss models. It's hard to say.
Well, the Shepard was originally the Shinjo before they did more Shinjo sketches. So in the design lineage, it's an earlier concept Shinjo. But yes, it's bizarrely similar. That will be fine. Both look great if they're post TNG. If you just made the Shepard, is that Shepard class? Yeah, like 25% more different.
And on that note. Elmer Arena puts in $5 and says Lore Reloaded singing is hideous.
No, I wasn't singing. I was being JJ, being all bouncy and nonsensical.
And Terrence Anderson puts in $5 and says, the Enterprise was always a member of the crew. JJVerse forgot that. 1000% yes. I've been saying that since day one. Yeah. The Enterprise is my favorite character in Star Trek. Like I said, I'm a ship guy. I love the ships. So the recasting of the JJ Prize was piss poorly done, and I still hold a grudge to this day for that.
Yeah. Someone apparently tweeted me, but I don't use Twitter enough.
The tweeter?
Yeah.
Why are they tweeting you?
They want me to use some of my old work. But he emailed the Trekyards thing as well. And I was going to grab the JJ Prize, the original one. I
have a smaller one in the other room I can grab too.
So mine's bigger, is what you're saying?
In this case, yes. But not in a Miranda class episode that we just filmed, so you guys can look forward to that.
See, you went straight to more Trek. Love it. Didn't go the route it was meant to go.
Yeah. Why, JJ? Why? We want to know. I just see the episode 2 will be directed by Jonathan Frakes. Intriguing. Episode 2 of Discovery, probably. Destroying the Enterprise and stripping it from the movie is like killing R2-D2 or shelving him. Oh, wait. Just destroying the Enterprise or stripping it from the movie is like killing R2. Or replacing R2 with a little ball that looks like a soccer ball. The BB-8's cute and all that, but he's no replacement for R2-D2. That's exactly right. Gmon78 puts in another £5 and says, Samuel, what did you think of the Baran? I know you're fond of quadricels. Quadricels. Well, I'm Samuel, and I'm here, and I like that ship because more nacelles. But he's not actually here, so we'll have to ask him that in a second. But Admiral Saval puts in $5. That's my problem with the Generation D Enterprise D. Why did they not use the emergency lifeboat pods? Why did they not use them? Because they didn't have them, the budget, I guess.
Hi, Stuart.
Hi, Samuel. Somebody had a question for you. What did you think of the Baran? They know of your fondness for quadricells. Quadricellicalian, like the wheat, only different.
See, again, the problem is the Baran. They're all ultra simplistic. So the concept of the ship is fine, but it has problems in execution and era problems, obviously, and lack of detail problems. Normally, especially in Voyager, every time we saw a new Federation ship, guess what? They detailed it fully because it was, whoa, the Prometheus, it's a new ship. Detail, or, you know what I mean? That it was a thing. Whereas when you have 13 ships, they're all quite poorly made in terms of high detail. Shinjo and Discovery being the exceptions, and Shinjo being way more detailed. So yeah. Baran has potential, but I would do a lot to it. And I will be totally honest with you guys. And I think you'll back me up on this, Stuart. We reluctantly, Discovery is still canon at the moment. It'll probably get retconned out eventually by somebody, because the next person who owns Trek, the next director, can just retcon things out. That's how it works, apparently. But still,
as long as you own the rights, you can say.
Yeah, but like if the director of Star Trek 4 says, you know what, mine's actually the prime timeline, we'll just ignore. You know what I mean? You could, if there's enough sway. For example, like if Quentin Tarantino were to make a Star Trek film look like the 60s, they're not going to say, nah, Tarantino, F off. Or James Cameron came and said, you know, I want to do a TNG one that's completely TNG looking. Everyone's like, oh no, we're trying to reboot Star Trek to look different in all timelines. Yeah, no. You know what I mean? But anyway, so yeah. it is still, as they say it's canon, it is canon. So for me, the fact there exists all these variants of the different fleet ships now tells you that, wow, they changed a lot of design language in that era, and that stuff is now relevant in every other era. We see, you know, hybrids of that later, especially in TNG with the Frankenstein fleet. But for me, when I'm doing these fan films, the NX-1 era fan film and the TOS fan film, I now have these other elements I can pull from, because we now know Fauna Cell's designs existed. So if one of these guys said to me, we want a Fauna Cell TOS design, I would say, okay, great. The brand exists. We know a rough sense of this is what it could have been. It's now my chance to fix it and make an appropriate TOS ship. Same with those other weird ones, like the Toplanahath. Generally quite a cool ship. It's the
yeah.
But again, it doesn't fit. But if I had the budget and the drive to do one, I still respect the Discovery line of ships, because you sort of have to, and those I can then pull influences from, because they are still the canonical lineage of things. So long answer to a question that was barely needed for that, but I just
Do you like it? Yes. No. Maybe so.
It's one of the least good fauna cells in Trek. You know.
Do you have the model of it yet?
Yeah. See, I tried to find the JJ prize, but what happened is I've got mostly the normal models, because we just tend to use the normal models. But I have all the XLs, but they're all in a box, and I only include the ones that I actually like out. So none of the JJ ships are still out. I've got the NX refit, the Franklin, the Vengeance, and the.
I can go grab a JJ if you want.
And the 09. No, it's fine. But it's just funny. I forgot that I actually put it away. But yeah, you're right. We have a brand, don't we? Right. Yeah. It arrived. I bought it.
I've done my review on the Baran already, and actually, when you hold the model, it's actually very cool. Is the Stargazer the first ship we see with 4 nacelles? Yes, I believe so. At least in actual on-screen, yes.
Hold on. Give me a minute. See, one super chat, get a lot of answer.
Oh my god. See, it's so much quieter when he's not here. He talks a lot. And he says a lot of words to answer a simple question when he doesn't have to. And there's other super chats rolling in usually, and I'm like, I gotta cut you off there. Hold on. But now that he's gone, it's nice and peaceful and quiet. Everybody enjoy the quiet. I sure hope the Orville perks up a bit tonight. Yes, I do as well. I might do a first reaction video live after, like later tonight on tonight's episode. We'll see. Cap, will you guys be doing another FASA episode soon? Not soon, but we do have some in the works lined up, so there will be more FASA stuff coming for sure. Cannot wait to see what the USS Hathawa from Discovery Season 2 premiere looks like. Yeah, that ships, man. Love the ships. He does talk too much. Can't wait for the episode of Orville to drop tonight. The commander's cloaking device is working great. It is. It is.
Now, Stuart, my friend, I can assume that you said only nice things about me when I left. I can assume that, can't I? And the audience will tell me if you say anything negative.
The audience will back me up that I was very nice to you while you were gone.
Because the fans will tell me, and you should tell me.
And
Be
you
honest.
won't watch this. You won't watch this back to find out. So it's not like they're just gonna lie to you. They're gonna say I badmouth you. I
So
said
if
just
anyone,
talk too much.
anyone wants to tell me the truth,
For a guy who dislikes guys who talk too much, Stu talked a lot.
sorry, what's that in reference to, Stuart?
I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah.
Saliva, Iran.
See, yes, he was a gentleman. See, the captain responded to far more questions when the commander was out.
Did you get any super chats? Oh no, you didn't.
No, because you weren't here.
Because I wasn't here. Yeah. No one thought to donate. 'Cause I wasn't here. Oh.
Exactly.
He blamed you
Anyway.
for Brexit.
And the JFK assassination. And the Axonar debacle.
The thing is, Stuart, I walked downstairs and guess who's watching?
Your dad.
Family members. And guess what I heard you say from the speakers?
no.
So you got away with nothing, my good man. It was great. And he said, he's talking about you. And I said, yeah, I know.
I always do.
I know you do. But
It's not like it was a surprise. And I did tell you what I said. So.
Well, because they told me that you admitted it.
No, I said it before they said anything.
Sure. So, in answer to Super Chat, here's a Bram. Yeah,
Yes. It feels it's different holding it. That's actually the ship kind of grew on me a little bit when I did my review of it. The only thing I really dislike on that ship is where the bridge placement is.
Oh yeah, that's the worst bit. And there's the shape, the dysphoria of the shape. It doesn't link. The deflector's really good. I actually really kind of like that unit.
Yeah.
But I mean, what else is there? It's a block with engines on, and then it's a saucer with rectangles. Like, it's uber simple.
Do you ever get the feeling that those nacelles should articulate, though? They should lock together until it goes to warp, and then they should spread. That'd be cool.
Warp foils in attack position, yeah.
The warp foils in warp position, yeah.
Oh, could you
John
imagine
Hathcock puts in $2 and says, busted.
Yes!
And Thomas Potts puts in $2 and says, are you going to watch Project Blue Book? And he wants animation number 8.
What's Project Blue Book?
Yeah, we're going to watch Project Blue Book. It's a series about Project Blue Book, which investigated UFOs back in the 50s and 60s.
Cool.
So it looks really good. I do want to watch it, yes.
And here's the real-time animation. Woo. Let's see. How do I turn that on?
Where is the Bridge of the Baran? John Hathcock is asking. You should, John. You're one of the admins. You should be watching my reviews.
Busted.
Busted.
Da, 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 da. Here's the NX flying with the Enterprise D in roughly real time, looking sexy with its stay string.
And then show the bridge while the animation's playing. So that John Hathcock.
And that's Gabriel Kerner's Enterprise and the NX-01 from Pierre Droulet. Brilliant, guys. Yes, the Brand's bridge is weirdly right here. So and there's no bridge window unless the entire middle strip is a bridge window.
That's what I think it is.
And
if that bridge was in the normal bridge position or even back between the nacelle, the struts,
that's interesting.
That would be cool having it at the back, but at the front just doesn't work for me.
Is that not even weaker? Is that even, people are arguing about bridge placement is not literally the front thing.
Exactly.
Again, it's a real simple shot. The back, I mean, there's nothing to it. I mean, the Prometheus is better than this it's all integrated, it's all clever.
You know what we need to do? We need to do some live Eagle Moss model reviews. where
Yeah,
each of us have the model and talk about it.
yeah, I've
We
thought
got
that.
2 super chats
Oh.
though.
Oh, you guys are
RSWW
amazing
puts
tonight.
in
Thank you.
$5.
Thank you.
Captain Foley, when you did the Star Trek Discovery USS Enterprise and found no book, Irish Trekkie had one. What's up with Eagle Moss? Actually, I filmed that review today. It'll be out on Friday. And a
Brilliant.
little bit of a new review format and style for that one. So hopefully you guys enjoy that.
So I was hoping to
didn't
get
the
that
book
first because, you know, I'm in England and they released in England,
Yeah.
but it wasn't a normal Discovery special. Otherwise I would have got it first, which is really annoying. But
yeah, so I did review it today. It'll be out on Friday. I didn't get the book. I messaged Irish Trekkie to see if he could send me some scans of it or something. He said he'd get back to me, and he hasn't. So I wanted to get it out, and don't really need the book per se to do the review.
Well,
so.
not the review, but for us, we certainly do. Did you email Eagle Moss and ask for replacements?
Yeah, I emailed Anne, our representative, but she hasn't got back to me yet about it because apparently there's some issues with the North American magazines, from what I've heard, rumor mill wise. But she hasn't got back to me today.
Okay.
So anyway,
because that magazine is like a gold mine of information. I really wanna read that because I mean it's John and Scott being honest. I mean it's a licensed thing. There's so much to tell.
we're missing super chats.
Brilliant. You guys are amazing. I mean, I'll be honest again, guys. Before you say that, you know we have had not the best week in terms of what have come in and Orville stuff. So this is really helping the channel. So. You know, great conversation and great support, and it does. I mean, these little amounts mount up, and we get to film with you guys, and it's brilliant job.
Talking too much, I'm going to actually read the super chat. I see the cancellation of Star Trek 4 as a good thing. It means we might get the Tarantino-verse sooner.
Tarantino-verse.
I'm not looking forward to it. Like, I love Tarantino and I love Star Trek, but the two of them together, I'm not keen on.
Yeah, but Fast and Furious and Star Trek work well together. We didn't think that would work, and it worked absolutely fine. So,
true.
Depends how you do it.
Robert Moore puts in $5. Love that model. Orville meets TOS, please. He wants the Orville meets TOS animation.
Don't know if I have that one because that's
Joseph Petrick puts in €2 and says, "Why not accept bridge windows on new ships?" And he wants number 3. For Christ's sake,
we don't accept bridge windows on old ships either.
Because they never had them until the Kelvinverse 2009 JJ film, and then every ship after that, no matter what era it's in, has a damn bridge window. It's a good idea. It makes sense.
In other universes.
But in other universes or a reimagined Star Trek universe, but don't pull it into Prime. It's always been a view screen, so just stop with the windows.
It's like Matt Jeffries designed the future. He designed ahead. He designed things that other people might say, "Oh, yeah, that's what it's going to be like." You know, not having visible thrust points on the thing. I mean, smooth hull. Like he designed what the future could be, and yet you're going back and having a window. Jeffries would not have approved of that.
Yeah.
Here's my Orville. This was fun to make a while ago.
Thomas Potts puts in $1.99. Did you see pics of Eagle Moth or Space Stock? Yes, I have.
Mine's downstairs. I just haven't opened it.
You have it already?
I haven't opened it yet.
I've requested it. Haven't got it yet. So. He
wants
got
Discovery Prize,
11.
and I want that. So
he wants animation number 11.
Okay.
We've still got 2 more super chats to catch up on. They're really flying in.
Oh, well, 11's also Orville meets.
Okay, Gmon78 puts in £5. Have another $5. I don't like odd numbers. Well, thank you very much, Gmon78. By all means, throw us another 5. So you have to throw us another 5 to equal out the oddness there. Gareth puts in £5 as well. What if it isn't a bridge window, but a lounge that happens to be right in front of the bridge? Number 18, if you please. Yeah, it could be the conference lounge. It could be the conference lounge and ready room. Who knows?
That's fine then. I don't have the Borg one because those weren't remasters. Because that's Stuart's numbering system. I don't have necessarily that old stuff. I mean, I have it somewhere, but it'll take a while to go.
Number 18 is the Terror Bird.
I have Terror Bird. That was a remaster. I'll just throw another one in then.
Did you play the Terror Bird earlier, though?
I did. Yeah. Where's people are like, what the hell is Terror Bird? And they're like, oh, that's what Terror Bird is. Cool.
Terror Bird. Look it up. Trekyards Originals Terror Bird. Look it up on YouTube. Watch it. It's designed by a friend of mine, and it's cool shit.
And all of these were digitally remastered at 1080p for more modern things that Stuart using for super animations.
And RSWW wants animation number 3. He forgot to add it to his super chat question. Animation number 3 is the Borg flyby with the
Like I said,
3K.
haven't got that one. So with TOS,
Gmon 78
that's why I'm
puts in
playing
another
this one
5.
instead.
Gmon
Look at
78
this
puts
one.
another £5, so he's at an odd number again, and he says,
Gee.
"Well, okay then." So
You
now
know
he's
what
got
I'm
to
gonna
put
do?
in another £5 to catch it, or a pound will do it as
To
well.
impress people, I'm gonna be all fancy pants.
Of course
and
you are.
And I'm gonna show this beautiful reef animation at full screen.
Do it.
Full 1080p because it's 1080p. Display capture again. I've so many displays.
Gmon 78 puts in another £5 to equal that out again to even number. And he says, "Since you asked so nicely." So there it is. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Okay, Stuart, I want a little bit of a TMP music before I press play. Some sort of TMP music. No, you need to do something, Stuart. Say something. Yeah.
Oh,
Something so I can play it.
Star Trek, exciting and new.
Okay.
Here it goes. I'm expecting you. Turn the Love Boat song into a Star Trek song. It works. Dun 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 dun. See, John Hathcock's doing it. Ba ba da ba ba ba. I'm not doing it, so don't even ask. I love that animation though. It's one of my favorites.
I don't know if this one. I mean, some of these aren't on the list, so this one's a Viper. Being this was fun to make because it's so small that showing it is real tricky because it's so far away. Doesn't quite work the same, but it's just real nice to see. I think just the light's nice, the planet looks nice, and the Viper, such a great design choice.
You should change the face to like one of our faces though.
Should. On
the pilot.
And this is the White Star. I think one of its very first 1080p animations lit modernly. I think. See, I mean, it's a 1995 model, but it does kind of. I mean, you can make it look pretty good. Yeah. So there you go, guys. Some. To apologise for not having one animation, I did loads of really cool ones at full screen.
Yeah, because you didn't have the ones you requested, so he's doing some extra ones for you guys. So that's really nice.
I have them; they're just really annoying to go get. So yeah.
You're not worth it, guys, is what he's saying. He doesn't want to go get them. He doesn't want to take the time.
Benjamin, Trek windows made transparent metal, though, not a weakness, and the whole ships are paper mache without shields anyway. It's not the point, though.
It's not the point we're making. Absolutely not.
So, okay, Stuart, you know how aircraft carriers, right?
Yeah.
Modern military, you know how they put windows in the front of the aircraft carriers that are 2 stories?
That the jets can fly through and launch through them, yes.
Well, no, there's a door that you can go swimming out of. It's like, no, they wouldn't do that. Like, it's still a military ship. Like, once you set a precedent, it's like the Star Wars ships, every single Star Destroyer, you expect to have big, lots of windows. Precedent. The TARDIS, you expect to be blue. Ship design, you expect to be consistent. And when you have seen from NX-01...
Well, 50 years of Trek with no...
Well, yes.
Almost 50 years of Trek with no damn window, and then all of a sudden everything has a window because of JJ.
Yes. But you go from NX-01 to J. Not a single prime timeline ship design from any of the designers has a window. A lot of ships. So that entire era of time, none of them. Now, we only see certain ships, obviously. We only see a few scouts, a few cruisers, a few whatevers. But if every single ship design... from every Federation and not. Although that said, the J-class freighter does have a window, I believe. They have windows to the bridge. They're not military, they're not Starfleet. So that's different.
I don't think they understand why we're so peeved about it.
I mean, it's just, would you go back and give the NX-01 a window? Would you go back and give the Enterprise D a window? It's like, if you start adding it, then you're saying... they chose to actively never use it again, but then why did they use it in the first place? It's like you're adding a technology in that was inferior and flawed, or just don't use a view screen. Like it's fine, but yes, it can be. It's a reboot, just fine. But then it's a reboot, say it. But if you're going to change it, then you're also adding it into the law, and the law says Windows is an obsolete technology that no one uses. It's just a thing, and Starfleet is not military. No, but it's the military arm of the. It's the peacekeeping arm
And that's debatable whether it's military or not, because
I mean, it's military. It's military grade hardware.
there's precedence for it being military esque.
Yeah.
Yeah. No easy answers
I mean,
there, guys.
there is no military in Starfleet. That's the closest thing. I mean, the Makos. I wouldn't be. If the universe was more consistent, I would have said I'd be fine if there were the Mako ships in TNG. They happen to be the military arm or the strike force, like purely war ships. Okay, cool, but they didn't exist yet. So
got another super chat at £1.99 from these riders. T-side geek reactions. Could we get some episodes about Star Trek Legacy ships, please? Like the game Star Trek Legacy.
Okay. Stuart, if we were making a full episode on Trekyards, which is not what he's asking, he's just saying episodes, full episode, what do we try and do for a full episode of Trekyards? Like a full Saturday hardcore release. What would our goal be?
Well, full research on the ship, find out everything we can about it.
Yep.
And of course, we need to do new renders, new animations, new flybys, new things that people haven't seen before necessarily.
So we're not just recouping memory alpha and talking for a bit, we're actually doing something new and adding to the conversation. Yeah.
Yes.
But Legacy, I mean, those ships were designed with no background information. They were designed, and those models are real simplistic and not really usable.
We could do an episode talking about all of them as a whole, just discussing the designs.
Yes, but then but then
it wouldn't be a full episode on the ships per se.
Yeah, I mean, we can make up stuff. That's the thing. Episode length is a weird one. Yeah.
That name that I can't pronounce because it's all Cyrillic puts in another 1,000 rubles. Rupees would be nice. But White Star is beautiful. Any thoughts on in-universe popular music styles? Mozart, Bach, Rossi, and TNG, Beastie Boys, and JJVerse, disco, and disco.
Thank you, White Star. Appreciate that. I thought that was a nice one too.
Any thoughts in universe popular music?
That's interesting. Should our contemporary stuff exist in the future and be used?
Because we're listening to music from hundreds of years ago, like you said, Mozart, Bach. Absolutely.
It's weird. Normally, that sort of stuff is used to counter. Is like the oh look, we're using this. It's like a shock tactic of wow. There's Justin Timberlake in 2287 for a weird scene. It's that sort of thing. It's not or they're playing Dick in a Box, the other Justin Timberlake classic, over the intercom. It's like, oh, it's shock factor. But I mean, why wouldn't you? At that point, it's just a rights issue. Obviously, I'd be cool to hear Beethoven's Fifth Symphony just in Burnham's quarters when you walk in. I mean, why wouldn't you? The classics are still classics. Although I know I've argued before, when they mention famous people, famous things, they always use the ones from our century because people understand them. Whereas I would rather have, they say in the show, say in TNG, the favourite composer, famous composers like Mozart, Taylor Swift, Bazati Tron, Deus Duvox.
They do things like that. They say so and so from whatever planet, just to throw it in there as like not everything is Earth-centric. Yeah.
But they've done that less in more modern Trek. They've gone away from that more realistic approach. So it's that fine balance. But I'm fine with modern music in it because it's not modern; it's classical, and you can. I mean, it's almost a fun character trait if you gave one of the actors, an appreciation. I mean, Paris liked 19 whatever's cars. That was a character trait, and then you got to see classic cars. I'm not a car person, but I appreciate the something. If you'd made
appreciated that, especially since it's a Camaro, and I'm a Camaro guy. So, or a Camaro, as Bolana says. Me and Sylvia always get a kick out of that scene, funny. And she always refers to my car as a Camaro, just to.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, though as soon as you put in contemporary music, you automatically date the show. That's why a lot of movies do not have contemporary music. Yes, but only. So you wouldn't want to put that year's number one. That dates it extremely, but it's fine to have, if the scene works, like the Beastie Boys. I mean that link back to the '09 film, but for me it worked with the scene. Like the plot point was a little bit Okay, fine. But it worked fine for the scene. I mean, that's fine. It didn't stand out to me specifically. And it doesn't date it. It's just in this century, maybe.
I still think they should have used the other song where they mentioned Mr. Spock, like a pinch in the neck from Mr. Spock. They should have used that song, and then McCoy should have looked up at Spock while they were killing all the bad guys, the swarm ships, and Spock be like, "Oh, that would have been hilarious." But no, they miss things like that. And I just dropped my mouse on the floor.
Scared the poor pug.
Scared the dogs. But anyway. I want Ferengi gangster rap. It's all about the Latinum, yo.
Well, that's the thing. They should be able to invent famous other songs. I mean, that was nice to have Klingon opera.
Oh, we got Klingon. Yeah, I was going to say Klingon opera.
Yeah, that was nice to have. But that's real, like, that's intricate and complex and stuff. Yeah.
Yes, we do hear Bajorn music. That's true. I hate Bajorns. The I Hate You song from Trek 4, yeah. That was written for the movie, though. It's written by one of the crew. Yeah.
So what did you want to see? Well, let's go back to that as a final piece, because we skipped over it a bit. What would we have seen for Star Trek 4? You said Mirror Universe, time travel back to Kelvin, Doomsday Machine, Balance of Terror. Which one of those would you have liked most if you'd had one choice? And how would you have done it? Give me anything, and I'll jump in with mine.
Well, for not including Chris Hemsworth, no Kirk's father.
No, it's up to you. Totally up to you.
I would have.
They announced him, so you can use him or not.
No, I would like to see like a remake of the Doomsday Machine. I think there's a lot of potential there. See another ship.
Yeah, but you bitched about them using the Khan stuff.
I know, but they're going to reuse something because that's what they do. So if you're going to reuse something good.
But would you want? Yeah. But would you want to literally be the Doomsday Machine episode, or do a completely different spin like the Phase 2 episode, where it was have the Doomsday Machine in it?
Multiple ones.
But it was totally different. I mean, it was which way would you go with that?
Well, okay, since they did do it with that, I won't use the Doomsday Machine. Okay, I would have liked to have seen a Mirror Universe crossover where he runs into his dad, who's in command of a ship, and I don't know what Kirk would be doing, but there's a lot of potential there. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you could see Kirk's dad being Captain Enterprise A. I mean, he's an older captain, but captains are older. How cool would that have been if it's literally the same path, but he never had a son, and he's still commanding the exact same ship, and Spock's there, but he looks way more worn. And it's the secondary mirror universe where, you know, it's the Kelvin mirror. Wouldn't that be? Yeah, wouldn't that be kind of funny? It double mirrored, and then you have.
That wouldn't work though because you can't have a Kelvin mirror and
I was trying to think. What if in the Mirror Prime, Mirror Spock went back to Mirror Kelvin, but it was a Mirror Kelvin, and then we're seeing Mirror Kelvin.
I'm just getting confused now.
But it was Mirror Spock coming back.
Joe Wright, I don't know. Joe Wright puts in $2 and says, "Stuart, take a break and let Samuel talk about you." Oh, so I need to leave.
I get to talk about these things for ages. No, I want Stuart to hear everything I say. You know. And I think Doomsday Machine for a second because I like that, but you have to play it quite differently. So what I would do is the Enterprise A is going through warp, and it's a nice little alternate warp, and you just get like 10 minutes of character stuff about, again, another day on the Enterprise. Everyone sort of like Kirk was rejuvenated after Star Trek 2. I feel young, so Kirk's rejuvenated from being on his second year of the 5-year mission. Maybe he's got a girlfriend. Maybe Marcus came on board. That'd be kind of nice. Give us some personal stakes, and they're dating, and yeah, you see some personal stuff about. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it's a bit of a CW start, but the start is the A at warp, and this is a film actually for Trek fans, Stuart. So it's not the same high octane action. Just so you know, that's important.
Yeah. Okay, that is important.
And it starts off with you hear some noises, and then the door opens, and Carol pushes Kirk out of her room like Diane did to Riker. Very similar shots. It's a reference to that. And Kirk's like, "No, I'll see you tomorrow, Carol." And she's like, "Yeah." And then he cuts to his quarters, and they both call he calls Bones and she calls Uhura, and they both go have a drink in different parts of the ship. And you see like a cross split between them talking about each other and saying, he's such a dick, but I think I love him. Oh, she's such a bitch, but I think I love her. And then this like weird like family, but it feels like a family. And then he calls Spock. They both call Spock, and he has to be awkwardly giving advice to both, and not lie. But he's like having a hard time not lying. And then after that bit of character, because that reassesses everything, then Scotty's like, Captain, I'm detecting something. It's interfering with the warp stream. And they say, I'll be fine, Scotty. And he says, no. In like a minute, we're gonna drop out of warp, and it'll blow up the ship and blow up the warp drive. So they start running. JJ running to the bridge, but only Marcus does, because Kirk's like, Kirk to bridge, deactivate warp, because Carol never remembers that you just communicate to the bridge. Sorry, in joke. And so they drop out of warp, and then there's this planetary system, but actually it's clearly like 6 practices of 6 planets, each of which have massive holes ripped in them, and in the middle of that you've got one planet, and it's fine. And then they're sort of like being not dragged, but there's a magnetic force of all the different rocks, of all the planets. It's dragging them towards the middle one, and they can't control it. That's what brought them out of warp. As they get into orbit, a doomsday machine is in the asteroid field, and it's like the same material because it's got a chameleon field that lets it mimic the hull texture wherever it's near. So if it's in orbit of a planet, it'll mimic. So it's a better device. And the Enterprise sees it, and they're like, "What is this?" Blah 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 blah, and then it goes from there and it battles it, but it's clever, and that's the home world of the Doomsday Machine. That was the last one that they know of, and you learn why it was created. Obviously, the JJY, and presumably it'd be hints to the Borg, because that's quite a cool subplot. But you wouldn't ever say it was the Borg, and you wouldn't show the Borg, but it'd be implication of that. And they might like beam down to the planet and see this weird crystalline thing, and it's like an ancestor of the Tholians maybe, because if you redesign the Doomsday, made it a bit more organic, a bit more crystally, it could be like a Tholian. Like they helped that, and they were part of this war with the Borg early on. Something. And you see these like paintings on a wall of the Borg, and you see cubes, and it's like, what is that? And we know what it is, but they don't. And they fight it and win and stuff. And what do you think?
Perfect.
Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Even with the people drama, sex stuff at the start.
Well, yeah, you need that kind of stuff. Just as long as Spock and Uhura aren't dating anymore, because that was just stupid.
Yeah, they're just friends. But it's like you want the crew, you want the feel of the family. I thought it'd be a fun thing. I don't know. I just thought that. Let me read back what you all said, if any of you actually bothered commenting on what I said, because I also said it to hear what you guys think. Still about the window stuff.
Yeah, it's
no one's mentioned it at all. Okay.
That's because they all tuned out.
Oh. Okay.
No.
What's also sold? Thanks, Gareth.
They're friends, good friends. Who are us? No, I just tolerate him.
Was the Screw Enterprise
window
also
stuff?
window? No.
Window stuff, sex stuff, window stuff, sex stuff sold.
Samuel, when's this new movie come out? Well, on Kickstarter, we'll raise money for the CGI. Oh, yeah. At the beginning, the story sounded like a Star Trek Friends, which is a good thing. Yeah, I mean, it's a family. It's meant to be this tight-knit, especially after how many years together at that point? And that would be something new, wouldn't it, to have Marcus on the Enterprise? How would she get on with Spock? Because she's very smart. She and Spock are friends, but she's dating Kirk, and that's weird, and Spock is best friends, but he also likes Carol, and I don't know, that would change that dynamic, and actually have Kirk, basically settle down. His life, he got command 20 years earlier, that's mellowed him earlier, and so he becomes more mature as he goes on. He becomes much more like, even to the point that you can end the movie with a moment where, wouldn't this be kind of fun, like a real nice reference? Yet the last scene of the movie after they defeat the Doomsday Machine, and obviously now the chat doesn't care, so I'm just talking to you now. You see, yeah, it's true. You see, oh, you're sorry. I told him. I told him. We love you when you go so fast, I lose track. Sorry. I was I don't know.
Sorry, somebody wanted lens flare effects, so I'm gonna lens flare as you're talking.
I was gonna say, wouldn't it be fun if the last shot of that movie was they've done the situation, everything's at peace again, and we see the captain in a turbo lift, and he's got this tray, identical to one in Generations, and he walks up to Carol's door, beeps it, and then she says enter, and he walks into the room and it closes, and it's like, that's what we would have done in the Prime. That's what we did at the end of the JJ. What do you think? Fitting?
Very fitting.
Yeah.
Yes.
No Chekhov though.
It's better with the lens flare for sure.
It is. And we can obviously we can free cam it like BSG and just like shake cam, you know.
God, that.
Okay,
that was
so
hard to get through in season 1.
So we're doing some shaky cam here just for the.
Oh, I gotta get the lens flare going on at the same time. I can't. I can, but I don't really want to. Yeah. Okay. Well, fine. Whatever. There we go. Look, we're in JJVerse. ASMR. ASMR Trekyards for the win.
Yeah. Samuel, do you ever write your story ideas? Yeah. I don't know.
Just one off the tracks really fast.
Oh, no. This is the thing. Oh no, this has gone too long. Okay, so final $10 and we can leave. 10 more bucks. Oh, well, 2. There you go.
Joseph puts in €2. It was me. Thanks for the seizure. Wants number 6.
Yes. Oh, I like the Galaxy X one. Cold door handles. It looks yellow on my end. It's an old door.
You guys are absolute nuts. You should hear our conversations when we're not live. It's this like times 10. We just go off the rails. And a lot of it's not safe for work, probably, but
it's all relative.
And this is why I watch, they say, and that's what we like to hear. We have a good chemistry, we have fun together, and that's what's important.
And we do different things.
Foley, don't bite your nails. That's a nasty habit. I know, right? But I've been doing it my whole life.
Me too.
So.
Me too. I'm sorry, but me too.
And Sylvia agrees with you. She's like hitting me because she thinks the same thing. Thanks, guys.
I sympathize, Stuart. I really do it as well, and I can't stop.
It's a disease. There's a name for it. I can't remember what it's called, but
idiocy.
And it's definitely neurosis. Yes.
No, I agree. Yeah. It's just a thing. Right, here's the. I had to find this one, but it's okay. Galaxy X flying like it did in TNG, which I tried to match, and I think it did a pretty good job matching. Stars need a bit of work, but it was only rendered at the resolution needed for the show, so.
Safe for work, but not safe for monetization for YouTube. Yeah. No ad revenue because we're being. Yeah, it's a good one. I like that animation.
Yeah.
Why was it canceled? Well, the director left to do another project, and Chris Pine is holding out for more money, and the Kelvinverse just kind of sucks.
Well, it was, many, many, many reasons. But also politics with Discovery, I'm sure. The fact that their rights are about to run out, so therefore producing it would be such tricky. Maybe some of the actors want more of a role, some want less of a role. Who are you going to write it? They also haven't written a script. So would Time Peg do it? Would they not? The fan reaction to Beyond, the fan reaction to Into Darkness. Like I say, the 2 lead actors. If you lose one, you have to rewrite the entire script. If you lose Kirk, do you recast? Those things take months to decide. And if you're going to a board meeting saying, do we recast? Do we undo? Do we time jump? I mean, does that involve changing the entire story? And then, oops, months have gone by, and can't even make the profit margin work. You know, it's a film that they lost all the good faith with. And
Viren Victus says, well, having to recast Chekhov doesn't help either. Well, they wouldn't recast Chekhov because the good thing about that is Chekhov wasn't in all of TOS. He came in later. So this one, it was just an alternate reality. He was there earlier and then left to go to Starfleet or something. They would have had a line of dialogue addressing that, I'm sure, because they said they weren't going to recast him just out of respect. And I totally agree with that. But yeah, missing Chekhov is kind of annoying because he was one of my favorite characters actually in the JJ lineup.
Well, that's the thing. They were all well cast. It's just pity the crap they were given.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. But when you give them all good things to do...
Victor 9. As if the computer couldn't figure that out.
Again, stupid writing is stupid. it's just stupid. You know, it doesn't help. We need to go to nuclear vessels. You know. Yeah. He likes a Sulu idea. Call the movie The Great Experiment. Star Trek: The Great Experiment. The transwarp using Borg tech from the Narada, and they get trapped in the beta quadrant, gamma quadrant.
In the prime timeline.
Well, that's just an episode from I said just a game, isn't it? Shattered Universe. They get lost in the other universe, which would also be fun. There's so many games that would be good episodes. That would be a good episode.
The fourth JJ movie should be an alternate version of TNG. Recast the TNG crew, have them in JJ's future, where the Enterprise is like 5 kilometers long or something like that.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're not doing it for creative reasons. Like, it's just like, whatever you say, they're actually still making Infinity War for creative reasons. You know, that's to prove it can be done, to do it on the big screen, to make this marvel of modern technology. That's because it's also the art. It's also the look, we did it, and they spent billions to make it over the course of all the films. There's still an art factor there. Okay, some films like Ant-Man more about getting to the end, or I enjoyed it, and they certainly enjoyed making it. But whereas like an Into Darkness is just because we have to, because licensing, because what can we do that's easy? Can't. And how can we screw it up? Or we'll make a script in 2 days.
Yes.
So yeah, $8 more. We got 2, and then we can go $8 more, and we can walk
away. Hold you ransom with our presence to get. That's just funny to me. Going to the theater, going to see Star Trek Beyond, and knowing that Anton Chekhov was dead was a real bummer. Yes, absolutely it was.
Yeah, but he was. At least he got a bit more to do with that. Sulu got nothing to do in the movie, but Chekhov got at least a full side plot. Yeah. Few films are not missed opportunities. You know, in some way.
Can they replace Chris Pine? They could, but that would just be stupid. To just replace one actor and for the 4th movie, I just think that's dumb.
And also, they haven't, obviously, because they've cancelled it / shelved it.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, hey, if they want to say, right, we'll wait 10 more years and bring them back as TMP, as TWOC era, you know, then okay, then you can have them all as older people, and, you know.
Okay, this is blackmailing, Samuel, but I enjoy watching you, so no super chat from me. And as soon as that came in, we got a super chat of $10 from John Hathcock, one of our admins. Thank you very much, John, for saving my life and getting me off this damn live stream. Number 19. Number 19 and 15, since I missed one before, so he wants animation 19 and 15. And then we get another one from this Cyrillic name of 500 rupees.
Thank you.
Star Wreck in the Perkinning. Have you seen this fan-made dark comedy from 2005? Yes, I've seen all of the Star Wrecks. They're really awesome. So
is that the Babylon 5 crossover one?
It's really great animation for the time. I don't think there might be. I don't know. I don't remember.
It's
I'd
a
have to watch
German
them
movie,
again.
wasn't it? All on green screen.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Because and they made 2. They made one that was non-Trek.
I think there's more than 2. There's a couple that are.
There's one project where they made a Trek version, which was their version, and they had to redo the entire thing without Trek VFX because they were then told to not, and they made all the VFX again, which is non-Trek.
He says yes, Star Trek versus Babylon 5. So yes, you're right.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, the VFX are great. I really enjoy it. Ferengi Orbit. That's the last one. Wow, we end on Ferengi. Weird. Oh, I guess I have. What?
Oh, ending on Ferengi, and you were blackmailing people with getting us off. Like, give us $10 and we'll leave.
My Umaks are happy. This is the only Ferengi one I have, but it's that Voyager model really holds up. I think Brandon McDougall did a great job. It's very cleverly detailed. I actually forgot I did this one. I can use this one for our future decor episode. That's fun.
There's actually 2 great Marauder animations you have. So.
Okay, there we go. Thanks one and all for another lovely little live stream. You guys have been superb. Makes a real difference. Real difference.
This has been a fun one. I love when we kind of just be funny.
Yeah. Well, we attempt to be funny.
Stuart, do you have the name and address of anyone reliable in Loot Crate? I've had big issues and support has been worthless so far. We have a representative's name.
Sorry
I could
hear that.
Shoot me a message. I'll see what I can do. Yeah, I've got word that my next Star Trek mission crate has been sent out. I got a tracking number, but that was like a week ago.
I think that
didn't
that get cancelled, Stuart? The mission crate? Pretty sure it got cancelled.
No, I got a tracking number in my email. It's on its way. I
think maybe then after that one, maybe.
It's across the border, so there's a 3rd one coming, so...
Am I going to get that one? Because that's probably not.
You should, yeah.
It'd be nice. Oh, dear. Cool. All right, well, anything left to say with our, I guess, closing thought on Picard?
Joseph is like, next stream Sunday. We are still missing some reviews of Disco. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get to the last couple episodes of Disco reviews.
Well, we said we might do like one long stream where everything's just combined. But that'll be like one session of like just chat everything. I think it's worth doing because we need to watch ourselves to get up to date. And then we also want to do predictions.
Yeah, we could do that on Sunday then. Yeah, sure.
Okay. And then we're doing one tomorrow on the... Oh, I guess tomorrow Saturday. Yeah, no, do it on Sunday. We'll do that. Oh, no.
Tomorrow's Friday. We can do one tomorrow if we need to.
Today's Friday for me already. Yeah, because we want to talk about the new animated series tomorrow. So we're doing another live tomorrow at the same time, 5. So join us in for that one.
Yes.
The new another new animated. How cool is that? And then, yeah, I guess... Maybe.
And Gareth puts in another £5. Trek Loot Crate is 100% canceled now. I haven't had a single crate since day 1. Paid for all. Oh my god, that's awful. Yeah, we had issues with our first when they approached us with the first sponsorship, and we never got the crates. And then somebody else and we're like, I was very skeptical, and I'm like, dude, we already talked to somebody. He's like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but we got our 2 crates, and
great.
Apparently there's a 3rd one on the way. So I don't know.
Good stuff. I was just thinking. So 17th is Discovery, but I don't know if I want to spend all the weekend watching Discovery. That's like 5 episodes. How do you feel about doing a?
We only have like 4 left, but yeah.
Well, yeah. How do you feel about doing that maybe Tuesday, and then doing a prediction video on Wednesday, as in a prediction live because Discovery's on 17th, 16th being the Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah, sure, we can do that.
Okay, so tomorrow we're looking at the animated series. Tuesday at the same time we're going to do a review of the final 4 episodes, which finishes off the entire arc, and then Wednesday. Before the Discovery on the 17th, we're going to do a live stream doing our predictions for Season 2, having just finished the season again.
Yeah. Are we not doing one on Sunday?
Well, if we're doing 2 next... if we're doing 2... if we've done 3 this week and then 2 next week, I think we can have a weekend to ourselves. Unless you want...
I might do one. I might do one, because I like doing them by myself. Jeff Jacobs puts in another $5.
Gosh. Thank you.
Just want to toss some out of guilt for not being able to keep doing it every month anymore. This is more fun anyway. Well, thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you, Jeff.
We try.
Yes. And if you can't help on Patreon, yeah, the super chats are helpful. But just remember, YouTube skims 30% off the top right away. So if you want to help us more directly, you can do it through PayPal, and the link's in the description to do that. But anyway, yes, much appreciated. Thank you very much.
And yeah, my closing thought for to Star Trek Other 4 is that I wish they'd had the exact same team for 3, back again for 4, Simon Pegg written, Justin Lin directed, have either a totally original idea or a really good spin on a classic, but really good spin with only the faintest bit of connection, and gives, I don't know, if you want to be really silly, add Burnham. Have Burnham introducing Killer. That'd be fun.
Bring Admiral Sylvia to the live stream, please. You know what? Maybe on Sunday, Sylvia and I will do a live stream.
That'd be fun. I would totally
want to join me on Sunday.
That's a possibility. But it would be after Cassie's cake.
Yes, we have Cassie's birthday get together with the family on Sunday, but it'll be after that. So, yeah.
Is it early enough for me to watch, Stuart?
Yeah, it should be. Yep.
Nice. I'll see you both then. I'll comment and say hi.
Yeah, so we'll try to aim for that for Sylvia and I for Sunday. So Jeff Jacobs throws in 333 for the skim adjustment that YouTube takes off the top. Thank you very much, Jeff.
And
Appreciate it.
there we go.
You guys are just awesome. We really appreciate all you guys.
I mean, you guys can see, if you're regulars, you see how we do with like 60 people live streams. But if we have a few hundred, I mean, the bounce we get with you guys is really infectious. It really is. I mean, we're 25 minutes past. I'm still wants to go to bed, but like it's, you know, you guys help us be more. So thank you so much. Seriously.
Yes.
On that note, is that it?
That's it, guys.
See you tomorrow.
We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.